like or grilling.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't blame you at all for going back just to air frying chicken because I mean, number one, trying to like budget and everything. There's two bodybuilders here in the house. We eat a lot of fucking protein. It's like
yeah,
12 pounds of chicken, of just chicken for the two of us a week, plus steak, plus fish, plus the whey. So trying to kind of budget things, but
yeah.
also just being able to kind of control. Like, I mean, one day you may feel like air frying, sometimes be like bulk cooking in the oven, maybe you
Yeah.
grill it. So having a little bit of variety there is also good, in my opinion.
So that was the cool thing about using like something like MegaFit is I know machines are probably cooking that stuff. So I
Oh
know
yeah,
that the temperature and timing is probably exactly the same each time, and probably the seasonings and everything else is weighed out to a certain level of compliancy, right? So I actually felt like that food was more consistent than the stuff I cook at home because sometimes I leave it longer on the grill or whatever, whatever. Um, but like I said, over time, it just started to taste really processed. And you have to be getting tons and tons of different trace minerals and fats from whatever their process is, how they're cooking that meat. If they're adding olive oil, which you know they are, hopefully it's a good quality olive oil or not just like
no.
canola. Who knows, dude? Like I said, it just started tasting like fast food. So I'm like, man, I'm just going back to the good old fashioned chicken and rice and I do ground beef as well. Sometimes I'll do some steak or salmon, but
I mean, that's kind of the nice thing. I mean, I weigh all my proteins raw. I mean,
oh,
it's an
you
extra
do.
step to weigh it raw, then weigh it cooked and figure out the conversion. But I
It's
mean, it's like an
it's
extra
not
30
it's not a
seconds once a
huge
week.
deal. I did that for so long. I just changed that within the last 2 years where I did start weighing it cooked. Um, But I did that for so long, weighing it raw, and everyone's like, it wastes so much more time. And I'm like, if you just do the math, like you can weigh out like 10 pounds raw, and then you
Mhm.
just cook it and divide it by how many meals you were intending
Yep.
on cooking, and it's quite simple, you know. I made a YouTube video on it because like I had to show clients how to do it apparently, but yeah, I did finally switch back to just doing all cooked weights. Um, but I mean, everything's pretty consistent, so I
Mhm.
don't really change my methods too much, you know?
No, that's definitely fair.
Yeah.
And I mean, whenever you're introduced like weighing it raw versus cooked, and then baking do all the conversions,
Yeah.
you're introducing the amateur bodybuilder's worst nightmare, sixth grade
Dude.
level math.
Yes. Well, and another thing that became quite nice is I do work with a lot of couples, which I've talked about before,
Mhm.
and they can all just batch cook. And if the women's weight for per meal is different than the man's, which generally
Mhm.
it is in
Yeah.
most households that I work with, um, they can cook for each other and just batch cook. And then one can weigh out X amount cooked, the other weighs out X amount cooked. That is where it became very time saving for my couples, at least.
No, Yeah. That's totally fair. I mean, just
Y-
for us, she has 100 grams raw weight. I have 300 grams raw weight.
Oh, so
So I
that's
just
easy
know
too.
I have three
Just
times.
a third of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so she
That's
has like
easy too.
this week it's 75 grams of chicken and
Yeah.
225 grams of chicken.
Yep, perfect.
But it's
Yeah.
just nice having like that. My autistic brain likes having
Right.
that raw measurement
I know
because
it
especially
does.
with fish, the
Yeah.
difference can be so huge. I mean, like this week it's
Oh yeah.
267 grams. Last week was 220 something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just such a huge difference there. That's like it's worth the extra 15 seconds to do the conversion one time a week.
There's
That's right on a whiteboard.
there's very few things that aren't worth an extra 15 seconds when it comes to bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You know, those things where you think they're going to save you time and then they kind of fuck you later. It's like, man, if it that goes with I think 90% of shit in life. Like if I would have just done this extra minute of work, it probably could have saved me a whole lot of time. I know we've all been there before.
Like
So
even
my
like with sorry, hi Mike. Even like with the food just staying on there, I used to just like cook all the chicken and then just toss like the full breast in my Tupperware and then just
Yeah.
like cut it up each day for the meals.
Scissors, bro.
Even like scissors, it was like an extra like
Mike
minute
knows.
or two
Mike
each day. Now I just cut it all up into cubes at once as soon as I
have
finish
to.
cooking
Your mic's
it.
not working, Mike.
That's a loaded sentence there.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, still can't hear you.
I think that's probably sabotaged by Tommy from Omegamino. Make
Yeah,
sure that the
right.
rival
Yeah.
peptide companies can't
Yeah.
say
One of my competitors, I fucked his mic.
it.
Oh, now we got you.
There it is.
There we go.
I have like 20 pairs of scissors in my kitchen.
Oh,
So
dude. Jay Cutler sold scissors for a while.
Does not surprise
You
me.
guys remember that?
Was that back whenever he was selling his hater blockers?
Yeah, yeah. So like Jay's an absolute genius. We all know that. But yeah, for a while he like it was in one of his meal prep videos and he was using scissors and everyone's like, that's genius. So he sold signature Jay Cutler like kitchen scissors along with fat grips. You know what I mean? He's smart.
Yeah.
he's definitely a good businessman.
Oh man, 100%.
Yeah, man. The food prep, that's so UK to do it raw. I
It
you know,
is. It's kind
I
of old
just
school too.
yeah, I just go cooked now. I mean,
Yeah.
back whenever I was competing, Matt Porter wanted it raw.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but like it was
Skip did raw too.
it sucks whenever you're doing tilapia. 'Cause I'm like,
Yo, yeah.
yeah, because I'm like, does the jelly count?
Oh, dude,
Like, you know what I
so
mean?
gross.
Hey, I
So
gave Skip or I used cook measurements with Skip for 5 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean,
I
if
wasn't
it's
doing raw. I was like, screw you, buddy.
yeah, no, exactly. And to be fair, nowadays he's not doing raw. Half the shit he buys is cooked. You know what I mean? He goes to Whole
Oh, dude,
Foods.
he just gets everything made from Whole Foods, and
Yeah,
he doesn't even
yeah,
go
he
get it.
doesn't
He gets
even
it
go. He
delivered.
has it delivered. Yeah,
yeah.
even yeah, yeah.
I've been to his place there in West Palm
Yeah,
a
it's
couple
cool.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's and the Whole Foods is literally 100 steps away, and he still has it
Oh yeah.
delivered.
Yep.
Oh, it's hilarious.
That
Yeah.
and the cafe that he likes to get the acai bowls from.
Yeah, Pura
Uh
Vita or
yeah,
whatever it
Pure
is.
Vita.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Went
Tommy,
there
by the way,
for
Mike.
several skip loads with him before.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Skip's he has a lot of nice things to say about you. This is the first time we're actually officially meeting, so nice to
Yeah.
meet you.
Yeah, same. So yeah, nice to
I'm
meet you
trying to bring
virtually
together
here.
the community.
Yeah, yeah. I love it.
Skip's a good dude. He's also how I got connected with Phil Viz originally.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, they're both good dudes. They're both
Yeah,
good
they
dudes.
are. Yeah, I have family and I used to live in South Florida, so
Hmm.
love getting to see both of them every time I'm down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And given Skip's wife's love of bourbon,
Oh
and I
man,
used to be
she's
an
the best.
executive at Sazerac, I always bring special releases of the bourbon to
Oh
her.
yeah, that's right. He told me about that. Yeah, he told me. Yeah. Yeah, she's the best, man. She always likes to send my son birthday gifts
Oh, nice.
and holiday gifts. You know how she is. She just
Yep.
loving like that. But
It's funny.
Hey, what happened to I thought he was doing Masters Nationals.
yeah, he hasn't put anything out public yet, so I don't want to say too much, but he
Okay.
just ran into a few things where it just wasn't lining up, you know. Yeah,
Is it with
just
Justin Harris?
no, he did it himself this year. He did it
Yeah.
himself, and yeah, I think he just ran into a few roadblocks, and he couldn't really correct them. So
Okay.
I'm guessing he's going to make that public at some point, you know. So I don't want to say too much
I'm
about
sure
it.
it'll be on his podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just a few things came up, and decided like, man, maybe that's not worth pushing through this type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay.
So
That's
You
too bad.
guys,
I was looking forward to it because he was looking good.
I know, man. I
did you
know.
guys watch any of the Tampa?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh, so Jordan, who won the bikini, she uses APR products, and
Nice.
her husband coaches my wife, and so we're all pretty close. So
That's
super happy
cool.
to see her win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Joey, I'm curious what you thought about the show.
I thought it was really cool. Number one, I feel like James showed up and kind of surprised some people. He
Hmm.
didn't look as good as he did in China, in my opinion, just conditioning wise.
Yeah,
But I think it was still really cool to see in some shots, especially from the side, he didn't look small next to Nick and Joe up there.
not
From
at
the
all.
back, you could see some issues, and the abs weren't entirely there, just like normal for him. But
What
I was really impressed with what he brought there.
That's my only knock on his physique, as much as I can knock a guy that is much, much better than me. But that's my only thing with his physique is like his abs just are thin, I think. I
Mhm.
think they just require more training or something. I don't know if he trains them or not, but that's
I
what
know
it
for a
just
while he
looks like.
was.
Yeah. So his abs are always just really thin, which is it could be genetic thing too, who knows.
That's like
Um,
mine though. Like mine
Mine
are
are
very
too.
thin, but
Mine
I
are
also have
too.
like that little pooch on the bottom.
Sure.
But that's I found that that's more of like a GI issue.
Could be.
And it goes away if I take oral BPC and KPV.
Yeah.
Like it'll clear up. It's more of like it's got to be some sort of bacterial fermentation problem.
Yeah,
Um,
it could. Everything is so much more obvious when you're that lean. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
the
You eat one little thing and you're like, ooh, like you're pregnant now, and then it goes away in like a little bit.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But even
even
in this shot, like,
yeah.
yeah,
But then again, I guess it's better than like a huge, diastasis that the guys get.
That's what I was
Depend.
going to say. I was like, he could almost use it to his advantage in certain areas by like
Yeah,
pulling a vacuum versus, some of these guys, Derek does that
yeah,
with the vacuum and, it brings his waist all nice and tight.
yes.
Nick ain't doing that.
No, 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 no. But to be fair, I mean Nick's waist was pretty tight
Oh
this
yeah,
time.
it
He
was the
looked to be
best
in
he's looked for
great
sure.
control.
yeah.
Someone
Great,
could
great control. Yeah.
someone compared 2021 Nick to 2026 and they're like, "Man, he just lost so much definition in his midsection." I'm like, "I think he got better." I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm looking at the picture that the guy was using to prove his point. I'm like, "You're proving my point." Like his waist is, you know what I mean? His obliques even came in. Like everything was so much tighter. I'm like, "Dude, you these photos, you're proving the wrong point here." Yeah, Joe looked great. He just had a softness to him, and he talked about a film of water or something maybe, but I do think part of it is just muscular maturity. I think
Mhm.
Nick is just always a bit harder and
Like,
a bit more grainy. I just think Joe is young in the game.
ooh,
And I do think over time that I think he will look harder just naturally as that muscle just becomes more solidified. And the dude gained what, like 130 fucking pounds in like 3 years,
yeah.
So to make that look rock hard is just going to take some time, I think.
I like how Nick pulls up and then he
Mhm.
crunches down on his abs,
Yeah, yeah.
and then that little whatever he does, that little crab squat reminds me of Kai Green.
Yeah, it does for sure. Yeah.
Man,
I
he's
wish
freaking
someone would tan his fucking head and face though, unless he tells him not to. But
Him and James.
it just distracts me so much. But he might tell him not to. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like
Um,
that's his call because he doesn't do it. I don't think on that many shows he's done it now since like the past few years.
yeah,
It reminds me of the Indian bodybuilders who are
yeah,
like
yeah,
all
yeah. They're
gold and
just
then their
like
face is
gold
white.
and then a white ass face. Yeah. But man, I
Yeah.
mean that Nick is crazy impressive in my opinion. I don't know.
Who is this guy?
I think he came in sixth. Dan Massan.
Oh, wait, there's more photos.
It's got great legs.
Yeah, he does. That was the first thing I noticed. They're crazy.
The camera is like not straight on,
Yeah.
throwing me
He's
off.
definitely still, I mean, lacking size compared to some of those big guys up there.
Oh,
So
for
I'm sure
sure.
he gets all those people like, oh, go down to classic when he's probably 40 pounds over the weight cap there
Yeah,
still.
right.
Man, Charles looked insane too.
He
Um,
was peeled.
Yeah.
he looks mean as fuck though.
Oh, he always does. Because, I mean, he lifts at a gym that I used to lift at.
Oh, really?
And he's generally a nice guy if you
Yeah,
know him, but
yeah.
he just walks around with just resting bitch face
It's so
24
funny.
7.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, he was absolutely peeled.
He surprised me with how he came in, to be honest. I thought after a few years away and then the pec tear,
Mhm.
his best was probably behind him,
Yeah,
but he really surprised me.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. His face is like gnarly sunken in.
Isn't it crazy? It just looks sharp, like razor sharp.
It's Ozempic face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel bad for Ken,
Yeah, I agree.
but give him more years to solidify that muscle.
Yeah, he's a young guy. And sometimes, sometimes the color of the darker guy's skin, man, I'm telling you, sometimes it just doesn't show well on stage. Terrence Ruffin has that problem. Where
Well,
where
especially with that multicolored
oh,
background that
dude,
they
it's
got going
awful.
on, that's super distracting.
It's so
Uh,
dis
Horrible.
even the Chicago Pro was a little much. Obviously they didn't do open, but the I had a few guys, or I had one guy in the Chicago Pro in the amateur, and like I'm looking at his stage shots, that we got back, and I'm like, man, the background is so distracting.
Yeah.
That's
Man,
one thing that
Tampa
I'm sorry,
Tampa
go
Pro,
ahead.
man, they used to have like this like video going on in the background too
Mm,
whenever I went like a few years ago. And that's whenever Kamal was doing it. And it
yeah.
was so red, so bright, and it's just pictures looked terrible that year.
Oh yeah.
I think I saw some people posting on Instagram too that they still had videos going on the side of the stage in Tampa this year, but they were like baseball highlights.
That's so strange. Yeah.
Baseball highlights, not even
Yeah, like it
like
was like Tampa Bay sports.
what?
That's so strange.
If I was
Like,
sponsoring that show, I'd be so pissed because I'd be
Oh yeah.
expecting like my videos to be playing like they did
yeah.
at junior nationals.
Hmm.
In between the divisions, they had APR video playing,
Yeah.
which was nice, but then it went to like a solid color background when people were actually on stage. It was perfect.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. When the competitors are not there, show the advertisements. When they're there, black out the background. You'll get plenty of advertisement time, but those athletes need a black background.
Yeah.
It's not that much to ask for, you
Nah.
know?
And I don't
And
even like the lights. Like when they do stuff on the sides, like that's messing with the light coming down on them. Like just
yes.
shut it all off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
Dallas Pro did that pretty well.
there's plenty of time to run the advertisements. In
Hmm.
Yeah.
between when
Yeah.
these guys walk off, put the advertisements up.
Well, it's not like anyone's paying attention to the advertisements when the athletes are on the stage anyway.
No, yeah, they're not.
You're trying to look at them. You don't care about what logo's up there.
No. I like name the last four bodybuilding shows and what advertisements were on the back of them. Yep.
Right.
No one fucking knows. Like,
Exactly.
hey, who was on the background of China Pro? Like, what were the advertisements? I don't know.
I would
So you
just say
might as well,
Celsius at default.
yeah, yeah, just default to
Celsius
Celsius.
Wax
Yeah.
and Sledge.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, now the IFBB has corporate contracts. And
Mm,
so a number of the promoters actually lost quite a bit of revenue from Axel and Sledge, from Wolfpack, because it used to
hmm.
go to the individual sponsors or the like promoters of the show. Uh, but now it all went to corporate IFBB slash NPC,
Yeah,
and everyone's mandated to run the logos and things like that,
yeah.
but they don't actually get any of the revenue anymore
It's
from it.
wild.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
Ridiculous.
rough, honestly, for them. And then they're like required to buy the backpacks and stuff now, too.
For the
So,
overall and shit.
yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I know that, I mean, the show near me that was on last month, I don't think they even did backpacks. They just had like duffel bags with some supplements in them.
Hmm.
And I mean, we are lucky that they do a really good job with number one, getting advertisers, but still keeping like a black backdrop. They just put the company logos on like a black screen thing at the top over everyone, so it's not even in the shots.
Yeah, that's the other
But
thing. Keep that shit up high. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be right behind the guys and girls. Like you keep it up so everyone can still see it, you know.
Well, it actually works out even better because, like, if you look at the Indie Pro ones that we did, we have the logos. It's a black background, but then we have the logos like at the very tip top.
Yeah,
So that way, when you actually have the athlete shots from the professional photographers,
they're
you
right
have a
above
nice
them.
black background
Yeah.
behind the athlete, and then you have your logo right above their head.
You can see
It's
it better. You can
yeah,
see it. You
it's
can even see
perfect
the
for
you can
us,
see the
and it
athlete
looks
better
great
and
for
the
the athletes.
advertisement. Yeah, 100%.
I'm sure some of these promoters are just if they've already spent the money on those LED screens, so they want to keep using them, but
Yeah.
they're definitely not helping the athletes look at all.
No.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to change.
Yeah.
No. No. Especially not from us four. You know.
There's been enough
True.
complaints over the
Yeah.
past few years from Fuad, and it
Yeah,
hasn't
I
changed
was gonna say
that it's
if he
not going to
can't change it,
change.
we're not
Yeah.
gonna. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
feel
can
like
at
that's
least guarantee you the Indie Pro will have the black backdrop.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
it's
Yeah.
just a common theme I hear from a lot of the competitors and people that have podcasts. It's just they all want
I,
the change.
I've even heard it from the photographers. And who knows
Mm.
better than them?
Yeah,
You know, like the guys that know the most about lighting and how the pictures will be affected, like they're saying they don't like the crazy backdrops and the backfeed lighting from LED screens and all that shit that is messing with their job now, you know?
yeah,
I gotta imagine it makes editing the photos a nightmare when you
Oh
buy
yeah,
one of those
crazy.
like packages that come with edited photos
Yeah,
because now you're trying to adjust colors to wipe out the background but keep the color on the athlete. Like,
yeah,
yeah, that's probably just adding hours of work to them and taking away from their profit margin.
yeah,
yeah. And I don't think I'd ever choose a different color for trunks than like blue. Like I would never buy red.
yeah.
A pair of red ones. Haven't worn them in 3 years.
Someone had white on. I'm like, man,
White?
that was a bold
Whoa.
choice. Yeah,
Were they
yeah.
black?
They were, yeah.
That's probably
But
why.
you still get all
But
that tan on them.
yeah, I'm like, man, I would have never chose white, but
I,
whatever, you
I'd
Hey,
go
know.
I
gray.
chose a all white suit to hand out the checks at
Oh, cool.
the Indie
Yeah,
Pro show. I
yeah.
had all white on everything, and yeah, every athlete was like, "Well, that's daring." I was like, "Don't worry, it's from Fashion Nova. It didn't cost very
Yeah,
much."
yeah,
I was
exactly.
like, "The
Yeah,
winners can still hug me, get tan all over this. I
yeah,
don't care."
yeah. I didn't plan to keep this one. Yeah,
Exactly. This was a wear once situation.
right, right.
I mean, where else would you wear a white suit?
Yeah.
Your own wedding, maybe.
Yeah, I moved away from Miami. There's no white parties in Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I say Miami is every weekend.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Um, are any of y'all going to Dallas Pro?
Sadly, no. I was considering going down to Texas, one just to see Ben, and then also to kind of just see some of the bodybuilding sites down there.
Yeah.
But it just didn't make sense financially with everything going on, then the show coming up, and like I don't want to fly down there for a week and pay for an Airbnb and everything just to go to a few different bodybuilding gyms.
Yeah,
And
I'll be
Ben's
there.
busy enough; he doesn't need me stopping by to bug him. He has enough stuff on the farm to take care of without me going down and bothering him at his home gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stay with him and then do
I
some.
don't think he would let me do that. I'm a low level amateur. I'm a nobody.
You
Yeah, I
can
don't
stay
know.
with me. It's a bit of a drive, but you got to watch my kids.
Oh,
He's
that's a big no.
he seems like he cares about all of his athletes though, you know. He seems like one of those coaches that really cares about all of his guys.
I mean, I love working with him. No smack talk towards him. They're just, I know my place as a low level amateur that if
Sure.
there's a crisis and he's to either respond to me or respond to Hunter's getting the response. There's not
Yeah.
really a fight
Yeah.
going on there.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But I've liked working with him. He does care about his athletes a lot. He is invested in them. He's actually, I don't want to keep talking about my coach here when I have three other coaches in front of me, but he
Well,
responds to like training footage every day and is always
yeah.
like, hey, improve this, not just looks good. So I know he's actually watching it.
I gotta
So
twist arms to even get people to send me training footage. I'm like, that's part of the coaching, right? Like, I don't charge extra for that, and like maybe four of my athletes do it. I'm just like, all right, whatever, you know?
it's more time for you to go and cook a bunch of chicken
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
or play
yeah,
with your kid.
yeah. True, true.
I'll say I'm going to be opening up our house to athletes
Hmm.
to, give them a safe space to kind of rest, recover, focus on bodybuilding. I noticed that with a number of the pros, just getting them in a relaxing environment around a family has
Hmm.
helped immensely.
Oh yeah.
Uh, you know, I almost want to say like a safe environment too, because some of these pros, they never know who's talking to them just to use their fame
Oh yeah.
versus actually care about them. I barely have social media. My social media gets deleted every 2 weeks
Right,
by
right.
Meta. So
Yeah,
like it's not like I'm posting anything.
yeah.
And then, with my wife being a pro and stuff like that, we obviously live the lifestyle. And
Right.
so I built out all the recovery stuff that we would need here too to get them in proper health condition. So, we have the sauna, we have the ultrasound shock wand,
Yeah.
cold plunge, red light, all that stuff to focus on their health and just give them a space to relax, chill. We'll make their foods, prep
Yep.
all of that for them. So they just focus on that. And then across the street, there's actually a podcast studio that I partnered with. So that way it gives them access in case, that's part of their business model to be
Hmm.
able to do that. And then we got two good gyms here that allow them train for free too.
Yeah. No, that's super important, and a lot of the times, bodybuilders, those last few weeks of contest prep, it just gets lonely sometimes. You're sitting in a hotel room and all you can think about is the shit just rolling through your head. And then when you're just like hanging out with your friends or like you said, the normalcy of a family and just people, conversing with you and taking your mind off all the bullshit, like that alone is so incredibly powerful that people ask me what it's like, contest prepping myself or for shows when I have a child and a wife that need attention. It's like it just made it easier
Yeah,
because I'm not thinking about how I'm hungry or how I'm tired. It's like, no, I got to eat meal three and then we're going to the park. You know what I mean? We're gonna go play. Like it makes it easier in my opinion. So I think that normalcy can actually help most athletes.
Yeah. And then doing something to calm the mind down too, it's like card games, board games. Like when do you do that? You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
there's so many crazy ones out now. Like my wife, that's what she does when she goes to Target. She's like, let's go down the game aisle. And man, the amount of money we spent on games so far, it's insane.
Have
But
you
like
played
there's
Secret Hitler?
Oh
do what?
God.
Secret Hitler.
No. No, she probably has.
It was big a few years ago.
But like Cards Against Humanity, there's like one called like
Yeah.
Happy Salmon. There's so many like weird ones out there. There's like a flipping pigeons one. I don't know, but like you play them and like an hour goes by, and then that's like cortisol dump, and then you freaking get to eat your next meal.
I
But
was gonna say, how much time goes by when you're like playing a card game with people or a board game? Like, time will just fly by, and then you look at the clock, and it's like, oh, I guess I get to eat my next meal now. And like,
yeah,
you weren't sitting there watching the clock minute by minute till you can eat.
yeah,
Yeah,
especially that last couple meals of the day when you're
yeah,
starving. You're like,
yep,
do I go to sleep right now or do I just,
yeah,
wait
yeah.
it out? Like, what do I do here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Do I want to punish myself and eat my last meal now? Yeah. Well,
exactly.
it's even like stuff like this, like me chatting with you guys. Like, I just know I'm gonna eat my next meal once this is done, and
Yep.
it just keeps me occupied and I don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, it's like a good hang. You get to like throw ideas off of each other,
Yes.
but then it's like you get to help other people, whoever's watching, and it's
Hmm.
better than the people that come up to you at the gym, like interrupt
Oh
you,
yeah.
and they just like want to know like a specific thing, and then you're just like, okay, we can do this some other time,
And it's
like you want
normally
to
about
go.
gear.
Yep. I
Yeah.
was training legs on Tuesday, and I was in the middle of like RDLs.
Oh God.
Then about six different people came up and decided that'd be a great time to start a conversation with me. They asked about CPAPs, they asked about peptides, they asked about food. Like, dude, I'm sitting on the machine. That's a sign that I would like to do my set, not
That's
talk to you right
crazy.
now.
That is craziness.
Yeah, talk
Yeah.
to me like while I'm on the treadmill. Like this one girl,
Yeah, that's fine.
she like taps me on the shoulders, and I like look over, and she's like, "You have good legs. Are you a bodybuilder?" And I was like, "No, not anymore," and all this stuff. And like we started talking, and then she starts talking about like how she's like, "Oh yeah, I used to be Mormon," and I was like, "Me too." And then we're like, we both don't follow, and she's like telling me about all these like ex-Mormon Reddit threads and stuff, and just like gossiping. And
Yeah.
then like I ended up doing like 45 extra minutes of
Perfect.
cardio because I
Yeah.
was just like conversing. And I'm like, crap. Now I have to like eat more food.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I'm
sounds
like,
horrible.
that's the perfect time to talk to me.
It is the best time though. It
Yeah.
is when you need someone just to occupy your mind. Like a lot of the times, if I go on like a long walk or whatever, I'll call someone I haven't talked to in a few weeks, and just like it makes the time go by so quickly, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot better than the conversation I got stuck in my off season. I had just taken my insulin shot, and
Uh-oh.
go into the gym, and then someone stops me and starts talking about kidney health, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, like that's important, so I'll give him the time. I'll start talking about that, and then it turned into like how few times he pees during the day,
Uh-oh.
and like he then took like 30 minutes to explain to me how many times he pees in a day, and then I went hypo, and then I was like,
Oh.
wow, this just turned horrible for me. I was like,
Yeah,
now I
yeah.
need to go chug some carbs
Right.
and try to salvage this workout.
Yeah. I've done that post workout where like, the timing's all good and then you start having, and I'm convinced, and I guarantee there's science to this. I just haven't looked into it. Talking is exerting like not glycogen, but energy enough to actually need carbs. So I find that if I'm talking with someone a lot, like post workout, I will start going hypo much quicker than if I wasn't having a conversation. So I don't know if it's the respiratory rate because you're speaking, but I found that happens so often that if someone's talking to me post workout and I'm really going and I'm talking away, I will go hypo so much quicker than if I just like sat there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there's
Now you're
great.
going to make me go down a rabbit hole tonight of research because,
There has to be
right, like the
something.
brain runs on glycogen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to what the actual amount burned is per hour
Well,
for like if
think,
you're using
yeah.
much higher brain functioning.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
think about even like when you talk, even your mouth will start to get dry. You'll start to need
Yep.
water from talking a lot. So tell me it's not using some sort of glucose. You know what I mean? It has to. It has
Or
Yeah.
to.
even fat boy problems over here. If I'm walking and then I
Yeah.
start talking or like doing a video with someone when I'm
Oh
trying to
yeah.
walk, I sound just like a fat out of shape because I'm just breathing hard. Gotta take breaks, take a big inhale.
Yeah.
Like I swear I do my cardio, but something about talking and walking at the same time just kills me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I used to do these seminars for NSCA for the strength and conditioning. And like after hours of that, like again, I get that brain fatigue and I could go to the hotel room and then I'll take a nap because I'm so tired. It's so
Yeah.
exhausting, especially even consulting and stuff. If I'm because like you're trying to remember something that like I studied in school like 20 years ago. And so
Hmm.
you're like recalling all those things. I'm like, and I'm not taking any nootropics or anything, but I'm like, how much choline am I depleting at this time too?
Hmm.
Alongside with vitamins like cofactors, alongside with the glucose, so like all these
Right.
things. And I'm like, man, like I feel like if I, but like if I have something like honey or something to like sip on, I can continue to keep going, but I don't know if
Yeah.
that's like just you know how like some athletes will like swish around carbohydrates, spit it out, and that
Yep.
gives you that boost of energy. So I'm like, there's got to be something there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were we not supposed to take a bunch of nootropics before doing this?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah, I
have them
should
back
Because I
then.
know I
have.
did.
Yeah.
I think the only nootropic back then was like the methamphetamines and like the GNC that they
Those are the
sold.
best ones.
Yeah.
Actually, I had coffee with a friend this morning that we both ran in the military circles in our earlier careers. And, with my intelligence background, and we were talking about the stuff the government used to give us. It was
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, that was the good nootropics, if you
Right,
will.
right, right. Yeah.
Before they made all of these pansy laws now,
The
where
go
the Air
pills,
Force
right?
can't even use go pills anymore.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
get modafinil now.
Right. Right. Boring.
Yeah, exactly. We had Ready Jet pens with like amphetamines in
Right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Y'all want to get into some questions?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I actually had a few this week, which was surprising.
Yeah, I sent over, I think, like 6 that were pretty good.
Good.
Yeah. I have yours pulled up, Mike. Um, best compounds, peptides, nootropics to combat neurotoxicity from anabolics.
Hmm.
I'll go first on that one. So a newer one that's come out, FGL. So I've posted a little bit about that. It can actually combat the plaque that can form in your brain from, especially things like tren, that causes the amyloid plaque buildup. It will not remove existing plaque, but it
Hmm.
has been shown to prevent it from being built up in the brain. So it's more of a preventative than a corrective one. It's used over in Japan for several neurological defects. But there's actually human studies, so a rarity for us in the peptide space
Yeah.
uh, on it. And so, yeah, that's one that I personally utilize, and I know a number of my friends utilize it too, and have seen significant cognitive enhancements while on stronger cycles.
Yep.
Uh, especially towards the end of prep and things like that, you're not as much in that brain fog kind of space. You have a much more clear thinking on it.
Yeah. I like the Cmax helps me a bit. I don't know that it has actual benefits like that, like preventing plaque, right? But just from a neurological, stability and anxiety type thing, the Cmax and the Selank, those do help me. New peps, I'll rotate Cmax with new peps, like 4 weeks Cmax, 4 weeks new pep, something like that. Those have been pretty helpful for me. Um, those are the main ones as far as like peptide type stuff. But I think something kind of underutilized is just keeping sleep in mind and keeping the nervous system in mind, because in a contest prep when we're running a lot of gear, we're just constantly in that fight or flight mode, and getting yourself to switch to a parasympathetic mode is really going to help. So I think there's peptides that can help with that and kind of calm down the nervous system and set you up for a better sleep, which in return is going to have neurological benefits and cognitive benefits the next day and the following days after that. So I think that's an important factor.
Yeah. I found LTHP helped with that for me, especially if you take stimulants later in the day.
Hmm.
That seems to calm it down faster than a lot of other options.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of attacking again that vagus nerve.
Yes.
So even like a vagus nerve stimulator is a
Hmm.
good apparatus to use. But then even utilizing like BPC, like oral BPC, oral KPV, Theanine to help with uh, catecholamine reduction,
Yeah, and
increase like
glycine
anything to
too.
increase GABA, yeah,
Glycine, yeah.
glycine,
Yeah.
and then some sort of soil-based probiotic to make sure that your gut microbiome is in a healthy state, or fermented uh, like foods, kimchi and such. But I think that can help a lot with the neurotoxicity, just trying to eliminate all that buildup.
Hmm.
And Finibit comes in really well for me, and then call me my to get me into a parasympathetic system. I like to take Emodin just to block
Yeah.
cortisol.
As
Like
long
Yep.
that's
as you
my
don't,
favorite.
as long as you don't take too much of it, because you'll shit yourself.
Yeah,
Then you
yeah,
get the
Yeah.
laxative effect.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
like
you will.
it sucks that Brian hasn't restocked his from Chemix, but being
You
with
can still
Morphogen,
find it. You can still find it out there.
yeah, yeah, I'm with Morphogen now,
APR will
so I
have
got
it
it.
in about 4 weeks.
Oh yeah,
There you go. There
there we
you go.
go. But don't take just rhubarb. That'll just make you crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't do that.
You need the Emodin.
We don't know from experience, but we've heard.
Yeah. But
And it will turn your pee a weird color.
oh, and your sperm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
My wife
guess I
was
keep the
off.
lights off.
My wife was off the pill,
No,
and
sir.
there's no birth control, and I'm not going to wear condoms. And so I was like, I'm just going to put it on your belly.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
all this. It's really orange. Like it's
No
crazy.
way.
Yeah. So it looks
Oh,
like
God.
a if you ever get like a organic egg, how
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
yolk is super orange. That's what it
Yeah.
looks
Perfect.
like.
Thank you for describing this in great
Yeah.
detail.
Wow.
The more you know, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how it tastes. I didn't ask her, but
Yeah, let us know.
tastes like rhubarb.
Next episode.
Combined with pineapple.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think, Joey?
I, honestly, for the neurotoxicity side of things, I don't know as much on that side of things.
Yeah.
I just know, for me personally, even just on the natural supplement side of things, I think doing a mega dose of taurine, not taurine, tyrosine in the morning can be really good. And it's
Hmm.
cheap. You can get it in a powder, mixed in your coffee or whatever you drink in the morning. There's not really a huge downside to that. So even doing something like 5, 6 grams of that in the morning can be good.
Yeah.
Going down like a for the choline side of things, something like a high dose citicoline, close to a gram, can be really good for cognitive function. Occasionally, methylene blue can be nice as well, but I don't like using that very often,
Yeah.
just because it can deplete ferritin so much. And with the widespread use of Retatrutide out there, that also can limit iron absorption. So if you're not really watching those numbers, you can mess yourself up pretty badly,
Yeah.
and it's not fun trying to recover ferritin.
And like what about foods? I think foods are underutilized in their ability to help with some of those things. Like even like trying to get one whole egg in a day,
Mm.
and getting choline from that. And I think, chicken and rice is great. We all kind of live on that, but there's so many other little things that if we just worked in a little bit, focusing on trying to get some more potassium, trying to get some more iodine. I think those things have a lot of downstream effects that people kind of underutilize. Um, and then like from a lifestyle and a habit building, I think trying to get natural light in the morning. I know it sounds cheesy and woo woo, but like that does set up the circadian rhythm for what happens for the rest of the day. So when I wake up in the morning, I do try to get out in the sunlight right away, or I'll use a red light. And I do think that helps with melatonin production and things like that, that are going to set you up for a better sleep. The other thing that is minimal but helps is a cold plunge. And I don't think it has to be 33 degrees. I think if you're trying to just calm the vagal tone, you can use something like a 45, 50-degree tolerable temperature and just hang out in there for a few minutes, and you can see the metrics all just dump. The heart rate will change, and it only takes about 2 minutes sometimes. And that can set you up for better restful sleep as well. So I used to do when I would get home from work, I would hop in that cold plunge right away just for 2 to 5 minutes. And I do think it really helped on a cognitive effect for sure.
So
You
you
know,
use the cold plunge in the evening
Yeah,
versus the morning?
because I train in the mornings,
Okay.
and I don't want to cold plunge before I train personally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was using it in the evening. It was probably a few hours away from bed,
Okay.
so it's not like I hop in the cold plunge then hop in bed. It would be, 2, 3 hours before. So that was really just the best timing for me to fit it in, honestly. That's how
Mhm.
my schedule is lined up.
and going back to this question though, like I would just be sure that like he uses neurotoxicity. So like I'm like, okay, did you get an MRI done, a CT
Yeah, we just
scan?
don't
Like,
know.
you
We
know what I
just
mean?
don't
Like, are
know.
you just scared of other things that you've seen or heard from other people using things like a like 19 nor or
Yeah.
EQ, things like that? Like I wouldn't be so um gullible to that because a lot of times people at a higher level that are using these and are exposed to these steroids, they are typically taking other things like painkillers back in the day,
Yeah,
which destroyed
true.
kidneys, you know, like
Yeah.
they're taking other substances or they're doing something else. So like I would just say neurotoxicity is kind of it's a it's an extreme word to use. I would just say more mental health, I guess, or like brain
It's
health.
it's the boogeyman and we can't measure it unless you're doing deep, deep scans and
Yeah.
things that are no one's doing, to be honest. Um, is there neurotoxicity from using anabolic steroids? Yes. But we don't know at what level, it's so hard to even quantify that. And so you're trying to prevent something that's not even measurable. And that's a very tricky thing to do because how do you know if it's getting better or not? Well, I just feel smarter. It's like, bro, no, you don't. No, you don't. Stop it. Yeah, I took a test on Friday and then I took the same test on Wednesday and my grade was better on Wednesday. It's like, dude, no. You're just
Yeah.
familiar with the test, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like if I go and I have a piece of cheesecake, I'm gonna feel dumb, brain fog,
Yeah.
and that's not neurotoxicity. That's just whatever I
Blood
ate.
sugar.
Yeah, whatever I ate did not agree with me.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I'll say some people are doing the genetic testing now and they are predispositioned to getting Alzheimer's. So let's say it
Yeah,
runs in the
Yeah.
family, something
Yeah.
along those lines. So probably is something good to watch out for
yeah,
and
yeah,
to think about if you want to go down the bodybuilding path, if you are predispositioned to, something like Alzheimer's, because
100%.
that's an added risk. And, taking these drugs is going to increase your likelihood of getting it.
yeah,
100%. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I would just go about it just a different term, in my opinion, just for keeping brain health or whatever you want to call it, because we want to prevent it. And so now we're talking about like we want to keep methylation protocols in there. We want to reduce the risk of DNA mutations and things like that that may cause that to happen at a quicker rate. Um, but sometimes it just happens no matter what you do. You know,
True.
I saw my grandfather go through it,
Yeah, it's
and
rough.
that's how he died in that state. And he's freaking smart, and he's a boxer, and all these other things. And so I'm like,
Yep.
it sucks to see him that way, but he was super healthy. I think he
Yeah.
kept life extension in business. So,
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah. There you go.
boxing probably had something to do with it. I come
oh
from
yeah,
Sure.
a family of
concussions.
boxers.
It
Like
finally
my
caught
I
up to him.
I think
yeah.
one thing that's not talked about enough is what is happening to our brains while we're training. I think that the effect of training hard with high intensity, I think that has negative effects on the brain, in my opinion. Think about how high your blood pressure probably is while you're training. So I do think a lot of damage that bodybuilders have is actually from the hard training. And that's not to say don't train hard because none of us would listen to that. But I do think, like, I'll have a guy text me in the morning, oh, my blood pressure was 125 over 80. I'm like, cool. After you do your hack squats tonight, take your blood pressure, send me that, let me know what it is, and let me know if you're still worried about 125 over 80. You know what I mean? So, and that's not to disregard blood pressure, but you got to think about like why are our liver enzymes climbing? Why can the CK levels get so high? So training is going to be damaging to the body and the brain too, in my opinion. Exercising's different. If you're exercising, like lifestyle people do, I don't think that's creating as much damage. It's probably much more beneficial for the body. But when you're training hard like a bodybuilder, I do think that there can be negative effects from it.
And think about how often Branch Warren's brain bounced between his head every time he's like
Dude,
deadlifting
yeah.
600 pounds or whatever.
And smashing his head on the bar and
But
shit.
but I mean you get growth, neuroplasticity, you get BDNFR and all these things coming from training, which is great. But how many times can a soccer player headbutt a ball,
Yeah.
without brain injury? I
Yeah.
think sometimes it depends on how crazy we are. I think, man, I think like CrossFitters and High Rocks competitors probably get more brain damage, as far as like their brains moving around in that cerebral fluid, like.
Yeah. Not only that, like measure their CK levels.
I,
You
I
know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
you know how
Yeah.
dumb you are after you finish a hard, intense training. I'm so
Dude.
dumb. Like I
Yeah.
can't even like complete sentences.
Like after legs, I'm like trying to find my cell phone. It's in my hand.
Yeah.
And like shit like that. Like that happens.
So
Like,
it's like depletion of glucose and all these other factors.
yeah. Yeah. And we still think you should train hard. So don't
Yes.
take away the wrong message here, but
Yeah, yeah,
uh
yeah.
it's just kind of something I think about is like because let's say a natural guy follows his diet, or at least he claims he does. You see his blood work, and he still has some of these markers because he just trained, a day or two before blood work. It's like, okay, your liver enzymes are still 150, and you didn't take any Anavar. So there has to be some sort of damage there, regardless of the GGT versus, ALT, AST. There still has to be something happening there, right?
You think it's needed though
No.
for your body to like build a tolerance and adaptive process?
What do I think what's needed?
The
Those
the
enzymes to
fluctuation
raise?
in just the ALT
Yes.
and AST rather than
Yes.
like GGT.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
All right. Next question.
Yeah.
Sure.
Go for it.
I want to want to know about this one. Slew, MOTC, and carnitine before bed with GH for fat oxidation.
I feel like
So
there are better timings.
Yeah.
I've seen that more and more recently. People have been asking me about taking those before bed.
Hmm.
Did Steve
And
make a video or
Yeah, it must
something?
have been Steve.
Is this a
Someone
Drew
I
someone
kind of
Donaldson?
watched Steve. I haven't heard of it.
yeah, I don't know where it's coming from, but yeah, my response was always, I'm not going to do something like MOTC that gives you an energy boost right
Mm-mm.
before bed, because
And potentially puts you hypo,
that
and then
too.
you're waking up in the middle of the night to piss 5 times, because the liver glycogen keeps dumping, right?
These
Um,
slopes would make that worse.
yeah, I have done slew PM with no issues. Carnitine's not something I would use at night, in my opinion. And I would never ever take MOTS before going to bed. That's just my opinion. Just because I know what MOTS effect has on me, and I can notice MOTS within an hour after taking it. Um, and my typical dosing of MOTS is anywhere from 1 to 2.5, sometimes 3 milligrams. So daily. And that is something I notice after I take it for sure.
Yeah, I take it in the mornings because 1 milligram, I can see some additional like maybe fat loss benefits there. For me, push it higher though for the actual energy benefits of it. Like I've gone 4 or 5 milligrams on it.
Hmm.
I'm not.
Hmm.
There's some people that I know and I'm friends with that will do 20. And I'm like,
Nice.
yeah, I'm like that's a little bit much for me. Like
I
That's
I
how you
haven't
get the
have
tried
a
that.
histamine
potential
reaction.
allergic
Yeah,
reaction.
yeah, exactly. I would have a welt this big if I tried 20 milligrams of MOTS.
I did
Yeah.
36 in 3 days, and that
It's
36.
over 3 days, so it's not
yeah,
as
yeah,
bad
that
as doing it 20
but it
at
was split
once.
up like 3 times a day each day.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
because the most
I
I
injected
did.
it like early morning, late morning,
Oh, okay.
late afternoon or early afternoonish. But like I was driving back from Dallas from this after my last day, and I I had
Hypo.
what did I have? I had some sort of muff or not a muffin, like a brownie bar thing. And then all of a sudden I'm just like
Hype.
veins, vascular
Yeah.
everywhere. And I'm like,
Yeah.
holy crap. And I start sweating. And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Uh-oh.
yeah, I'm like freaking peeled. And so I stop into a oh, what is it? Um, one of these gas stations, like not a Bucky's, but I stopped in there and I'm just like freaking like ripped, like just vascular.
Yeah.
And the lady like looks at me, she's like, you okay? I'm like, I need a freaking drink.
Yeah. You look like a meth head. You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I responded.
The most I've ever done is 10 every other day. And it did push me hypo pretty quickly.
Hmm.
I was constantly trying to, you know, chase that and correct that low blood sugar throughout that time period. But to be fair, that was post contest, so I was already pretty sensitive, you know.
So what would you take at night to increase the fat loss? If you were to give him an alternative.
I think just sleep is a good
Yeah.
start. I don't really even like doing injections at night besides growth hormone, because some people actually get stimulated just from doing an injection.
Hmm.
They get a little drive from it, you know, a little sympathetic drive because they're using drugs and it makes you, you know, the preparation and you're still using drugs and sticking yourself with a needle. And some people get a little excited from it and then they can't fall asleep because they're stimulated because they just took a drug. You know what I mean? I really don't recommend anything at night specifically for fat loss. I can't think of anything that I'm like, yeah, put that in because of fat loss overnight. You know what I mean?
So DNP, BAM 15.
Yeah, sure. There you go. Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I am getting more keen on BAM, but do you really want to be
Hmm.
sweating through the sheets at night thanks to that on top of anything else that you might be taking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to be
What,
starting for me here in a few days.
You're gonna start it, bam.
No, the night
Oh,
sweats.
the other thing.
Yeah, so some of the other things that cause night sweats.
Yeah,
Like I'll put it
yeah,
in the plan yesterday, and I'm excited.
yeah,
throw away those sheets. They're gonna forever smell.
yeah, exactly. And then you're gonna
Um,
wake up and come back to a cold bed. Oh, that's the worst part of it.
yeah,
You
everything
know?
like all of your clothes are wet, and you're like, just pee my pants. You're
Yeah.
like, did I
Yeah.
miss the toilet? Like, I don't know, I can't remember.
Well, I was
Hey,
doing strongman with the trend, a gram of it a week. That
Mm,
was throw multiple beach towels on the
yes.
bed. So when you wake up, you throw one of the beach towels into the laundry and get on the
Yep.
next one.
Yeah. Yeah, the highest I've run is 700, and I would not sleep under the sheets. There was no
Yeah.
point. And I would normally put down like an extra blanket and I would start on that. Then by the end of the night, I'm just sleeping on whatever I can, if I'm even sleeping. So definitely don't recommend running it that high.
yeah.
I
No.
was talking to one guy who he's dieting at the moment, and he said that he's taking so much tren, like like 4 to 500 milligrams, but then he wears like a full sweatsuit to bed
Oh
because he
God.
wants more night
What?
sweats.
No.
Like I get that you're trying to be hardcore, but that's just
Mm.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't even
Then you're
seem
fucking up your sleep.
it seems like
Yeah.
you're just gonna wake up really dehydrated. You know,
Yeah, you're gonna mess up all your
Yeah, you're doing
electrolytes.
the opposite of good sleep. Like you want a chili pad. You want dark,
yeah,
cold room.
you literally just fucked up your sleep on purpose on top of all the
Yeah.
trend. You know,
Oh,
I
I'm
just
You lose more fat if you just slept better.
slept. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't run the trend at all and you slept in a cold bed, you know.
no, it's got to be super hot. Haven't you seen fat come off of meat whenever you cook it? It's so
Yeah,
hot,
there
it's
you
gonna
go.
melt
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
That's what fat does. Hey, Mike, the slew dosage. I heard Drew, is it Drew Donaldson?
Yeah.
He's starting to have people take it after their workout, like an hour after their workout. Have you heard any good results from that?
I have. Yeah. So, given that it's an exercise mimetic, right?
Yeah.
Taking it after cardio, after the workouts, things like that, now you're just extending your cardio or your calorie burn, I should say, past, and farther than what you normally see after the workout, because obviously it spikes for several hours after the workout, but now you're bringing it even farther above that. And so I have seen good results after that. So generally break it up to two doses is what I've done and what I have other athletes doing, which was before cardio, since it does give you that cardio boost that we talked about
Yeah.
and the endurance aspect of it. So take it before cardio and then post workout.
Okay. And this is
I've
on the
done
higher
that.
doses because I heard him saying,
Yeah.
and I agree with him, the lower dose seems to be more like organ protective, like overall optimal health, but then you get the performance benefits and fat loss at like 100, 200, 300, 400. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I've seen is around the 1 milligram. That's where you'll start seeing kidney markers improve. So that 1 to 5 milligrams, somewhere in there. And then, yeah, that 100 to whatever plus, I've seen some people run it ridiculously high, which I wasn't sure how they weren't getting fatigued at that
Yeah.
point, but
Yeah.
some could handle it, I guess. Uh, where you're seeing the fat loss come in. And so
Yeah.
for me, with 200 milligrams, 100 before cardio, 100 post workout, that was pretty good. That's what I was running into my show. I was actually wave loading it. So I'd do uh, 200, 300, 400, back to 200, because that was preventing the fatigue buildup, which was essentially, I call it mitochondrial burnout, but it's obviously not it's not a scientific term.
Mhm.
But it was due to, the oxidative stress and things like that. That allowed me to run at higher doses for a longer period of time. And that's what I was doing before my show. What was it, November of last year?
Yeah. That's why I stocked up from you. It's because I'm going to start doing that. My kids call me fat. So,
Hey,
well,
my daughter went up to me when
the
Skip was helping me bulk up, and she's like, "Daddy has a Santa belly."
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Shut up, I'm bulking."
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
my youngest was like, "Daddy doesn't have abs," and then my oldest is like, "Yes, he does. He has pictures and he's strong." And then he's like, "No, I've
ESP.
seen his belly," and I'm like, "My this is a conversation they're having with my wife in the car," and then I'm like, "Yeah, it's because I just ate however much food you saw me, you know."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, the 1 milligram, I saw my wife's cholesterol numbers improve. Like, I mean, I've done videos on this comparing the difference, but she can never get her cholesterol ratio, her HDL cholesterol. It was always like a 4, or it was like a 5 to 1, and now it
Mhm.
got to like a 1.5 to 1.
Hmm.
Like it was awesome. So that's whenever I saw
That's
that.
significant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that was at 1 milligram?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything else started to improve after that. Whenever she started the Retta
Yeah.
on top of that, and then now she doesn't do the slew, it's just the Retta. But like she's managed her because she has a high ApoB,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
so it's lowered now, not significantly, but enough.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a lot of genetic factor that goes into that one. There's only so much you can do to improve that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
found it was just interesting that it dropped just a little bit. I was like, okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I know Niall has had a few coaches on recently on his podcast that they were again saying same thing. It was like 1 milligram that they were seeing kidney cholesterol improvements, and then the higher doses for the endurance benefits and fat loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Joe, you want to go through one of your questions?
Oh, sure. So I was just trying to listen and learn all these different health facts and everything. That I'm good at getting big. I don't know all the health and neurotoxicity side of things that you guys do. So just trying to
Well, I
learn
need to
more
listen to
things.
you more since I compete in men's bikini. So,
Uh, but no, the first one here is what's our advice to young men in their late teens to early 20s who want to make competing in bodybuilding their career? And I feel like the easy answer is don't.
Yeah. Who wants to
But
go first? Because I got a
I,
big opinion
I'm
on
not an
this.
IFBB, so obviously I didn't do it correctly.
Yeah. Mike, you
I
want to
mean,
go?
yeah.
I mean, I think this is more for you guys
Okay.
than me. I only left the corporate world in January,
Yeah.
so
So I already know that Joey and I see eye to eye on this, and what he already said, our advice is don't do that. And I will speak for Joey and I'll let him go anyways, but our advice is get a career that pays really well, and then bodybuilding will never be a financial burden if you have enough money to do it. And then you're going to be a better bodybuilder if you have more money and you have a steady career. And then maybe you'll meet a nice girl or a guy, whatever you're into, and you can be in a great, healthy relationship. And then your bodybuilding's going to get even better. I'm just now getting better at bodybuilding because I can afford to do it and I have a healthy family and a home and I have toys and shit that I like to buy. And I can do that stuff now because I put career first. And bodybuilding was still always there. I've been training since I was 13 and I've been eating like a bodybuilder forever. So it's like that was, it was never in my mind that I was doing the bodybuilding stuff to make it a career. I was I was building a career so I can afford to do the bodybuilding stuff. And now bodybuilding's starting to pay me because of my coaching business. So it took me, over 20 years to actually earn income from bodybuilding. And when you tell that to a teenager, they're like, man, you're old as fuck. You know what I mean? They're like, I don't want to wait that long. But it's just a day to day process. And one of the best things about having a great career, whatever it might be that you do, it helps you stay on track. Because anytime I had a full time corporate type job or whatever type of job I had, I could set up my day to be geared towards bodybuilding. When I did heating and air, I would always eat the meal here, here, and here. I could pull over to a gas station. I could eat my meal, be on my way to the next call. And I successfully was bodybuilding with a career in heating and air that paid all my bills for over a decade. And I was still doing the bodybuilding shit. Bodybuilding does not require 24 hours a day like younger guys think. It's just something that's just going in the background. You're eating your meals, you're doing the training, and you just repeat it the next day. So you don't have to stop life and just chase bodybuilding when you need to be setting yourself up to a point where, bodybuilding is not just consuming everything, and you need money to do that. So I tell the younger guys, go make money, dude. Go make money. Go make money. Go make money. You can still bodybuild, I promise. You can still compete. But if you're broke, you're not going to be a good competitor. You're not going to be able to afford a coach. You're not going to be able to afford the tanning, the shows, the gear, the travel, all the shit. You can't afford it if you don't have a good job. So, Joey, if you have anything to add to that,
No, I mean, really, I was in a very similar kind of mindset of answering the question is it's great to have a dream and you want to be the next C-bum. Have that dream, pursue it. Go work out, film your workouts, post all over Instagram,
yes.
but don't rely on that to pay your bills when you're fresh out of your parents' house. Decide not to go to college because you want to be the next Anton.
Joey
Those
and
are
I are
one in
still
a
trying
million.
to make it to the Olympia. We're still trying to do it,
I
you
still have
know?
dreams. I mean, I want to
Yeah.
turn pro before I retire from bodybuilding.
Same. Yeah.
Uh, I have aspirations of what I want to do in the sport, but I also know that no matter how far I go, no matter how far I push myself, how closely I follow the plan, I am never going to be one of the top five in the world
Right.
who are making money off their contracts.
Right.
So that would mean either being an influencer, which some people they make great money doing that, but you have to have some sort of shtick that really gets an audience. You can't just be posting workout content and motivational quotes and thinking that you're going to attract a million followers.
But even the top in the world, and you'll agree with this, they're not making the actual money from bodybuilding.
No.
You know, I know Andrew Jack probably with competitions collected 1 million last year, but like that outside, they're making money from, you know, sponsorships and people using their discount codes and doing, you know, being guests at expos and guest posing and the actual like bodybuilding and the competition. Like unless you're winning the Arnold or the Olympia, you're
Every
making
year.
you're making fuck all for money.
Mm,
So that's why a lot of bodybuilders are dead ass broke
mm.
because they chased the dream, they never got a quote unquote normal job, and now they're broken lonely. And I mean, I love it. I love the dream. I don't think anyone should not have it because I still have it and I'm an old ass man. And I still chase that shit every fucking day. I wake up ready to bodybuild. And it's silly. It's silly. My wife doesn't care though. Her, you know, her bills are paid. She's cool. She's healthy. Our son's healthy. He's got his shit. Dad is still going to bodybuild. That's just how it goes, you know. It's
I
just
mean,
you have to
that.
set yourself up for that.
Mm. I mean,
I'll,
finding a
I'll,
career, it doesn't mean going and doing a job you absolutely despise. You don't need to go and
No.
do long-term trucking because that pays the most per hour. You got to
Right.
do fly-in oil field work and all this hard manual labor that you just hate every second of.
No, because
Like you need to have some.
your career has to fit bodybuilding lifestyle too.
Mm.
Because
So
if
I mean,
you're
like,
working on an oil field and you can only eat twice a day, you're going to be a shit bodybuilder.
mm,
But there's other careers out there that can do both. They can fit bodybuilding very well and they can pay your bills as well. Those are the careers you want. John Meadows worked for Chase for
that's what I was gonna say.
decades. He worked for JP Morgan, right? And he said when he retired from JP Morgan, he's like, man, like, I don't know what time of the day to wake up. He's like, I don't know what time to eat meal three. He's like, it's all fucked up now because at Chase, I would eat meal one, two, and three on this break, you know, this break, and I'd get off work at this time. And like, really, a great career sets you up for great structure.
I
Mm.
still have my emails from John that
Yeah.
said john.meadows at chasebank.com.
Yeah.
Back when
Yeah.
he was I think he was only like the branch manager at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. He was. Yeah.
Yeah, I worked with him for I think 5 years or so.
Cool. Yeah.
And so, because we were both in finance,
Yep.
I was doing finance on the manufacturing side of things. I've been in manufacturing for 22 years, but like you can make different careers fit the bodybuilding lifestyle. I
Yes.
was competing as a pro strongman in a corporate environment. I still
Yep.
ate all my meals. I made it to the C-suite at a $6 billion company.
Yep.
I worked as a executive vice president at Kraft Heinz. Like,
Yeah.
you can bring your food to meetings. Like, it's not that unusual these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. So like when I was
Works.
a tradesman, the guys would go have a cigarette, I'd go eat my meal.
Yeah.
When I worked in manufacturing, we would get 3 breaks a day, a 15, a 30, and a 15. There's my 3 meals at work, right?
Yep.
So it was very, very easy. And to be honest, it gave me so much structure that if I would have just like out of high school, like I'm chasing bodybuilding and bodybuilding only, I would have had to learn that structure out of nothing. And, you know, I think it would have been a lot harder and I would have been much more poor, you know?
I mean, even bodybuilding can make your career better.
It
I
can.
mean, like I work a desk job. When people at the gym hear that I'm an accountant, they're always shocked. But being able to kind of go in and have that discipline that is built in the weight room, it's like, okay, I leave the house at this hour, I eat meal two at this time,
Yep.
then I have this block of work that I'm doing on this client. And then at this cutoff point, I go and I do my walk at the same time every day, eat the same meals at the same time every day,
Yeah.
clock in at the same time, leave at the same time. Being able to build a structure to around your job to fit bodybuilding simultaneously can make your career better because it gives you these blocks of hours that, okay, I know for these 2 hours my objective is to grind at work to get this
Yes.
client done, to install this HVAC, to
Yep.
whatever you're doing, you have
Yeah.
a solid like 2 hour block of okay. I know I have nothing else going on. I'm not thinking, oh, do I want to have a snack? Do I want to go and chat in the break room?
Well,
I have
that's
to work for these 2 hours so that I can
yeah.
have my time to eat my meal, to go on the walk, or do the other things.
And that's the other thing that we talked about earlier. If you're dieting and you got a full-time, like quote unquote normal job,
Mhm.
you're busy until that next meal.
It makes it a lot easier.
You're busy. You got shit to do. That's why people fail on the weekends with their diet
Mhm.
because they're not at work. So they got all the time in the world to keep walking past that refrigerator and they're like, fuck, that thing's talking to me, dude. And it's like when you're at work, you don't really have that option. So,
You have the meals you brought with you, and you should have that self control for the 2 minutes while you're packing your bag.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're not worrying like, oh, I could go to the cabinet and have that meat stick, or I could have
Yeah,
snack
yeah.
on some of my girlfriend's sweet treats. Like, no, you're at work. If you're taking food, it's one of your coworkers. They're gonna report you to HR for it.
Right. Yeah. So long story short, for the younger guys, get a good career that lines up with bodybuilding goals. And then, hey, man, maybe you are the next Chris Bumstead, but you won't know until you can afford to do the training, buy the drugs, buy the supplements, do the blood work, pay the coach. You won't know that until you have the money to actually be able to do the thing.
Yeah.
And I would say wait until you have at least 3 months of being able to comfortably pay all of your normal bills, mortgage payments, insurance payments, groceries, having a bit of like a buffer in there for something else comes up. Have a solid 3 months of influencer of bodybuilding paying
Hmm.
those bills before you even consider leaving your full-time job
And
to
please,
give
please
more
do
time to
a
bodybuilding.
please do a competition first.
Yes.
Please, please do a competition first before you
Figure
say
out
you
if
want to
this
be a
is really for
professional.
you.
See if you
Yeah.
like it. Like I hated the stage. It was
If
the I don't like it, but
do a competition. You're I have a lot of young guys, love them all to death, but they come to me, I want to turn pro, and I'm like, man, let's do that local show first and get our feet wet. Um, just imagine, just imagine, you know, you just want to play professional baseball, but you didn't play little league, and you didn't play baseball in high school, and you didn't play baseball in college, and you're like, oh no, yeah, I think it's now's the time to be a professional baseball player, and it's like, man, I think we should try the thing first before trying to be a professional in it. And that's just my opinion. It might be harsh, but damn, dude.
no, I mean you can take it one step further. And if you have a friend that's competing, why don't you buy an NPC card as well, plus pay for the backstage pass?
Yeah.
Go back there and spend you're going to spend $200 or $300 or whatever, but
Yeah.
and see what goes on back there and see if that gives you anxiety or not.
Yeah.
Um, but again, that could change. Anxiety can change. It can go away if you're actually good. But going back to the jobs, I mean, coming from the medical side, medical school and a surgical residency, probably not the best route to go if you want to be a bodybuilder.
No.
If you
No.
were, it makes dieting though, dieting's so easy because you're
Oh yeah,
busy.
you just don't eat all day long.
Yeah, you're great. Your training's kind of messed up because of the schedules. But if you were to be in the medical field and that's what you want to do, I would look into the route of a nurse anesthetist. So become an RN and then become a nurse anesthetist. Or if you want to be a doctor, become a radiologist because you
Mhm.
literally can work from anywhere nowadays, or become an anesthesiologist because the nurse anesthetist does all the work. You just
Yes.
go in, you visit your patient pre-op, and that's it. And
Yep.
so I think that's the route you would go. Anything that you have to stay in surgery, you're there sometimes 4 hours standing, not peeing. You can't, there's so many things you can't do. So I would do a different route if you were to wanting to go into the medical field, but it's still possible. You see a tons of bikini competitors and females that do it that are nurses.
Oh yeah.
But it's harder the more you want to scale up and some other career. But there's a will, there's a way. And when it comes to finances, I'm always the stickler of, can I buy it twice? If I
Yeah.
can buy that twice, I'm good to go. So with
Hmm.
with mortgages, if I can pay my mortgage, if I can double my mortgage each month for 6 months, I'm good to go. Like my next year.
I like that. I've actually never heard that before.
Yeah. So like if I need to buy a car, can I buy that car? Can I buy two of these? If I can't afford it.
Interesting. I like that a lot. I
That is
like that a
really good
lot.
approach.
Yeah.
That's sound advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not one that I've ever actually heard.
Yeah. If I need to
And
buy the 10 vials of Tren, if I can't buy 20 of them.
oh, well, you're not buying 20? I mean, well, that's funny because like a lot of the times people will buy, especially in the trades, these guys would buy sports cars, new trucks while we're busy. And it's like, just so you know, the window weather's coming soon. No one's running their air conditioner or their furnace. Like, your ass is gonna be broke. Just keep that in mind. And sure
Yeah.
as fuck, those guys couldn't afford the two car payments they had, you know?
How many military guys take their signing bonus and go
Bro.
buy a motorcycle?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Or
every
a big
Marine.
ass truck.
Every expensive ass truck or car you see on the highway has a military plate on it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a flex nowadays if you drive a car that's fully paid off. You
Yeah,
know,
it is. I
that's
agree.
how I love it.
Good shit. Good shit.
Next one for you, Mike. Just because this person asked, I know you've talked about it before, but the peptide protocol you use to manage your Crohn's disease.
Yeah, so that's oral BPC 157. Take between 500 and 1,000 micrograms, so 1 milligram of the oral a day on that side. I also have something called GI Restore that has a fragment of TB 500, so that's actually orally bioavailable because full TB 500 really isn't on that side. So I utilize that one. And then during flare-ups, I'll add in KPV, or if I'm getting close to a competition, I'll add that in as a proactive measure because I don't have a gallbladder. I've had stomach surgery. Like the juices are just constantly flowing for me.
Mhm.
So having an empty stomach is problematic. So I have to be proactive on that side. So between the BPC, the TB 500, and the KPV, that keeps everything generally in check for me without getting that burning sensation and things like that in my stomach, especially as I get towards prep. So that's worked out, knock on wood, well. I've had one flare up where I had to go on prednisone in the last 7 years, but otherwise I've been off of all of my biologics. Again, this is not medical advice. This is just what's worked for me. But the risk to reward trade-off there, I would rather take, granted there's no human studies on BPC 157,
Right.
but I would rather take that than, at one point in time I was on low dose chemo
Yeah.
year round for like over a year to try and knock my immune system down. So partially explains why I don't have a ton of hair, and
I shaved mine.
also
Now, what was your brain protocol for all that chemo you're taking? I'm just referring to back to earlier with the
so
neural
that was
toxicity.
before I had found this stuff.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was, I kid you not. So I'm an old guy, right? So when I had Crohn's, it was first coming out. People didn't know a lot about it.
No.
And so doctors were just throwing shit at a wall to see what stuck. I kid you not, one of the doctors from the Cleveland Clinic put me on a all fast food diet,
Mm.
thinking
What?
that it would cause less inflammation in my GI tract.
I'm trying to get on that diet, dude.
Dude, after like 3 days of
Oh
only
God.
like McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell kind of stuff, like you get sick of it pretty fast.
He's like, Mike, we fixed your gut, but we fucked up your heart and your blood pressure and your kidneys and everything else.
Exactly.
You know,
Like,
You
but
died of your
your gut's
cholesterol,
good,
not your
bro.
gut.
Yeah, yeah. The stomach's
yeah,
all good.
it didn't help my gut at all. The only thing that
Yeah.
helped on the diet side was the FODMAP diet.
Yeah, for sure.
That one actually helped.
Like a
But yeah, I
vertical
went through all
diet, I
kinds of
could
crazy
see.
things, and anything from the prescription strength probiotic, which just messed me up even
Oh
more.
yeah, yeah,
That didn't help. The all fast food diet, chemo, Remicade, Humira, you
yeah.
name it at this point, I've probably been on it at one point in time or another. So all
Right.
those things wrecked me. They wrecked my hormones. So I'll say that too. That's when I actually got put on testosterone because after the chemo and everything else, my natural testosterone was 200.
Yeah.
So, I got put on hormones for that. It caused infertility.
Mm.
So I had to actually fix myself for that so that we could have our daughter.
Yeah.
Uh, and so that was like a year-long issue of trial and error. And I finally found a protocol that worked there. And I've helped 7 people conceive this year so far. I just this past week got another sonogram sent to me, so that
Yeah,
made
isn't it
7.
exciting? That's
Oh,
that's the
I
type
love
of
it. Like
that's the type of
that's
coaching
just
where it's like there was one guy, him and his wife were trying for a while, and he just sent me a positive test the other day. I'm like, dude, that's so much cooler than getting someone in shape. I mean,
yeah,
it's great to get people in shape, obviously, but like when you see something like that, it's like, dude, that's wild.
yeah.
You help
It's
create a body.
Yeah.
exactly. It's one of the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
fulfilling things, especially when you know the strife that they're going through and the letdown every month, when it doesn't happen and things like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a very hard thing for I have a few guys now that are early in their protocol and they're just like, "Man, I don't think this is working." And it's like, "Well, it takes 90 to 120 days to even regenerate. So
Right.
like we have to at least give it that time and then some, and it's a long process for sure."
Yep.
And guys want to get back on their gear and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, like let's remember the goal here. And it's very draining and exhausting for couples too, because they start
Yeah.
to lose hope. They're like, man, I don't know if this is ever gonna happen, right?
Yep. Yeah. And we were at that hopeless phase where 2 fertility clinics even said I
Yes.
had no chance at it.
Yeah, yeah,
And nope, it was a combination of HCG, HMG, and at that point too, I was throwing the kitchen sink at it, but I still think it
yes.
works. The diasporic acid uh, in there as well, and then after about 4 months of those, everything came back
Yeah.
in a positive fashion for me, and then obviously I have a daughter these days, so.
Yep. Yeah, I do something very similar, and then I attack like systemic oxidation, so things like
Mhm.
glutathione,
Yep.
even L-carnitine, ubiquinol, like shit you should probably be taking anyways, fish oil, selenium, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, sometimes you only need one sperm, right? So
Yep.
I try to remind guys of that too, that it literally just takes one. And, in order to have one healthy one, you need to have an extremely healthy body and just keeping stress and all that shit down.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know the question was on the Crohn's, but the Crohn's leads to so many other things. Like, it can lead to a lot of complications and things like that. So just
Mm.
know, for anyone that suffers from these autoimmune disorders and diseases, just know that there is hope out there. Like, you can get better, but you have to be your own advocate too. Otherwise I'd still be eating McDonald's
Yeah,
every
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Um, let's knock this one out. There's a few questions like this that are the same. Favorite new compound in a fat loss phase?
New compound in a fat loss phase. If we
I,
have to go with one of the new ones, I would say I think MOTC can be really good for energy production and lets you work harder. I would still rather say, like, hey,
are,
calorie deficit
are
plan.
yeah, I'm gonna be that asshole like Joey because we're meatheads, but are we including GLPs or not?
I think they're new to the community.
Because if we're
Yes.
considering like Retatrutide like a newer thing, if we're considering that, then I do think that's one of the most powerful ones for fat loss. I don't always love it for competitors, in my opinion. But if I had to pick one, it would be that. Otherwise, it's clean, cardio, diet, and T3 if needed. And
Yep.
that's just, maybe I'm old school. Maybe Maybe the new guys have tricks, but I've tried all the shit and those things still work the best, in my opinion.
It feels
Yeah.
like with a lot of the other ones, it's very hit or miss on whether they really work wonders or not. Some people say they love MOTC. Some people say like, "Oh, SLU transformed my life." Other
No,
people like with BAM 15.
I think all of those new things are so good to have in the background because then maybe you don't have to run as much clenbuterol and maybe you don't have to run as much trenbolone and things like this. So I think like the combination of things can help in the background, but I think the OGs are doing the original work
Yeah,
and the other stuff is just helping. MOTS-C, even 5-aminos kind of letting off the brake, right? Because your metabolism will start to slow down, and 5-amino kind of pulls up on the brake and lets that keep going. So I think 5-amino can help. I mean, man, I think all of them help, even just by keeping the organs healthy and functioning. SS31, MOTS-C, like you said. Um, Man, I think they all help in the background. I just don't think they're the main needle movers. I think diet and cardio is first.
yep.
And then things like clenbuterol and, shit like that, it still works like really good. Like
Yeah.
really, really good. I promise.
There's some that seem promising, but I haven't used them, like the ATX.
See, I would never do it. I'm
But
sorry.
I don't know it,
Yeah.
like is it, it's new. I know that other people have used it, but like I have like a
Yeah,
adipose
Mike.
like
Let's hear
was it like
Mike's.
adipetite back in the day? Like that's kind of like
Yeah.
not so great,
This
but then you have
ATX is HGH frag, right?
No,
Am I thinking of something
ATX
else?
304 is a AMPK amplifier.
Okay.
Mm.
yeah.
It's one of the newer ones out. It'll actually be interesting to see how long it's on the market for because China just banned it from being manufactured,
Didn't they just
unless
ban KPV
you're
as
doing it for a
well?
pharmaceutical perspective.
Isn't it kind of spot reducing too at the same time or no?
I
Or is that
think
a
they
different
Like
claim
one?
I
lemon
think they claim
balls.
that about AOD. I thought that
That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking of, not
Yeah.
AOD
AOD.
may HGH frag on
I
that
mean,
side, but I mean, if you're going to do spot reduction, that's more like helo type stuff
yeah, that shit
on that.
works.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That legitimately does work in my experience for spot reduction. And normally spot reduction's kind of BS, but
And it
that
tightens the skin. I feel like
yeah,
it did.
there's some blends out there like Helios and shit like that, and where I started injecting them into my glutes 2, 3 weeks out, and yes, I'm still losing fat, but those glutes harden up pretty fucking quick when I started doing that. Um, just from my experience, and several clients, had the same effect.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree on that side. I'm looking over here because it's actually next to me, but lean focus is why I called it, which is the yohimbine is in there, albuterol's in there,
Yep.
but then like acetyl carnitine is in there, clonidine is in there, a lot of things that would give you some mental boost too, because when you're in those last stages, right, that mental fatigue is always in there. So I always like to make these blends that will give you a mental boost in addition to the fat loss, just because that's what I face and I like manufacturing what I use. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're gonna have a shit ton of it. You might as well use it.
yeah, on the ATX side, that would be, I think, better than SLU for a true fat loss phase. SLU's great, I think, for keeping you leaner in the off season
Hmm.
and maybe for the organ benefits too. It's obviously good for fat loss. I used it for that, but like it doesn't it's not going to outshine Clen or something like that
Yeah.
by any stretch. The ATX is truly a AMPK amplifier. So obviously when you ramp up AMPK, you're reducing mTOR, so your ability to build muscle is reduced. Uh, it's not a true on-off switch, obviously, but nonetheless, you're playing with that balance. And so save that for a true cutting phase where you're not trying to build the muscle.
Hmm.
The doses, to the financial point, the doses of SLU, the doses of BAM, the doses of ATX are all significantly higher than,
Hmm.
some of
Hmm.
these people are putting out. thankfully, guerrilla chemists and things like that are calling it out like, hey, BAM is in the 250 milligram to 500 milligram range, same as SLU. SLU starts a little bit lower at the 100. ATX to get that fat loss benefit, again, that's somewhere around, you know, 200 to 300 milligrams. And a lot of times people are selling it very expensively at 50 milligrams a cap. So all this stuff adds up really fast. Is it going to move the needle enough for that financial burden? I'd say probably not, especially on the ATX side of things. ATX made me go hypo all day. I ended up
Hmm.
chasing it all day with carbs at the higher dose. And so that probably defeated the entire purpose because I was eating more carbs
Yeah, yeah.
to prevent the hypo. And it made me go like hypo literally 3 times in a day because it does have a really long half-life. So that's something to be mindful of if you are experimenting with it.
Was that at
Uh,
10 milligrams?
no, so 300 milligrams is what I took on that
Oh,
one.
300. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'll see some people that put it out at 50 milligrams and things like that, but
Hmm.
it's too low of a dose. You're not going to get much from it at that. Maybe a little bit of endurance benefit since it improves AMPK, but fat loss, it's higher doses on that. I really don't think that it's worth the cost personally
Yeah.
on the ATX. That's why I don't even make it right now. BAM, I think, is useful at those higher doses. You get the mitochondrial uncoupling effect without the risk of overheating like you would on DNP, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a fraction as powerful as DNP, but you get that benefit without running the risk
You,
Yeah.
s-
on it.
you still get watery on it?
No, no,
No.
I didn't get any of the water retention, the sulfur smell, or anything like that.
Does it?
I've never used DNP, honestly. I've never even considered it.
Oh,
I
DN.
tried it one time
Yeah.
back in the day for a weight cut because there's only two weight classes in professional strongman.
Yeah, yeah.
There's 230 pounds and unlimited.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
if
Yeah.
I did want to go against Eddie Hall, I needed to make sure I was 230 pounds. And when you're 260 pounds 2 weeks
Yeah.
out from a show, you're like, uh-oh, I
Uh-oh.
gotta
Yeah.
try something drastic here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Boston Lloyd's guy used to make it and sell it at Tampa at the Tampa Powerhouse.
Oh God.
Little yellow tablets.
Yeah.
But what was I about to say? Great. Oh yeah, is the Dalton weight of BAM 15 would it be transdermal too? Is it small enough?
I didn't actually look into that for the transdermal side of things.
Yeah,
Because
that'd be interesting actually.
yeah,
Because
I
I've
like
been looking at those weights a lot regarding the nasal sprays
Hmm.
for the various things. And obviously, we had talked about the GLP drugs with the nasal sprays and things like that. And there's only one gentleman in the industry that I would think is smart enough to actually pull it off.
Yeah.
And his company does have one of them,
The
but it does
exenatide or
require, what'd you say?
the exenatide or whatever it is. It's like
Yeah,
yeah.
but that's still technically too heavy for the nasal spray. You
Oh,
have to
okay.
add in, there's two other peptides that you can add to it that will actually get it past the nasal mucus barrier
Yeah.
and actually be absorbed. But
Hmm.
you have to add in one of those two other peptides, which are pretty hard to source.
Okay.
Uh, and so again, there's probably only one gentleman that's actually smart enough to actually know that you had to use one of those other peptides to actually be able to make it effective.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of those companies are full of crap on that.
Yeah.
huh. Yeah, someone asked about the GLP nasal sprays, hype or not.
I'd
Yeah,
rather
like I said, probably hype
Terrible.
unless it's coming from one specific source. Uh, that and I haven't even talked to him if he had included those other peptides to actually make it uh, available, get it past the mucous membrane. But there is a way to make it feasible.
Hmm.
It's just I don't know how many people, one, even know either of those two peptides exist, or two, are willing to add the cost of that into there because it ain't cheap.
The dosing scares me because like you're relying on this pump and I just feel like the dosing can get so wildly different. And I don't, if you're using like, I don't know, Cmax or Selank nasal, it's like I don't give a fuck if I overdose it. But if I overdose my one of my GLPs, I'm fucked. I just can't eat. So it's like it scares me on the dosing of things like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What, the Amazon nasal spray isn't 100% accurate?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Or Timu, or God knows where they're getting these
Right,
from.
right, exactly.
Uh, um, how do you dose your, what's it called? Fennery powder? Power?
Fenrir.
Fenrir? What is
Yeah,
that?
Fenrir, like the Norse god Fenrir, the
What
wolf.
is
He was
that?
the one that killed Odin during Ragnarok. Okay,
Oh,
I'm a nerd. Yeah, that's why I worked in
What's
yeah.
IT.
the actual compound in it?
We
It's,
we we can tell you're a nerd, Mike.
I would have called it like Frodo power or something.
Yeah,
Mordor
right.
power.
Well, so
I've
it's untamed power, right, is what it represented in Norse mythology.
mm,
And so that's why I named it that, because you have the TMG, the clothing, the NALT, carnosine, ATP, and AMP in there,
oh, that's cool. It has
which
AMP.
it's
I like AMP.
I love AMP. Oh,
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
so you have focus and you have additional, energy, and you're unlocking some additional power output, neural output with that compound. So hence the name. It's 1 ml pre-workout.
And AMP freaking love it.
Yeah.
What about the Fat Blaster?
So that one has the cardarine in it. It has L-carnitine. It has DMAA in it, in an injectable form. Very low dose. It's not enough to. So this one, everyone sees DMAA and they're like, "Oh my God, it's going to crack me out." It's such a low dose that it's not going to crack you out like the what those pre-workouts that had like mega doses in it back in the day.
Yeah.
Plus caffeine.
Yeah, plus like
Yeah.
300, 400 milligrams of caffeine and things like that. And it's enough to give you focus, not enough to overstimulate you in there. Again, I would start half a ml on that one, go up to a full ml. It also, with the injectable format of cardarine, you're at such a low dose that you're well below the threshold that has been shown to cause cancer. And at the lower doses, it's been shown in studies to be cancer protective. It's one of those weird compounds that it
The
prevents cancer
irony.
at lower doses,
Yeah.
causes it at higher doses.
Yeah.
Uh, but that one's a low enough dose that it's more in the protective area side of things. So start with half ml on that one.
I just fill up the syringe as much as it can go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I do every morning.
Well, yeah, I do the same thing. I put in every day, if I'm in a fat loss phase, the fat blaster is going in there, life support is going in there, since that has the glutathione, the NAC, glycine, taurine, glutamine in there. So that's my morning cocktail that I take.
And I always feel like a pincushion, like during certain periods, like phases.
Yeah. It's
You
part of
get
it.
used to it.
Yeah, I
Yep.
went.
Pretty much.
I have literally used everything that we sell. We have a catalog of 180 products.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm a human lab rat and a pincushion at
Yep.
times.
Imagine if it was all oil based. You'd be like
Yeah, yeah.
synthalled up.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, Skip and Phil both hated my left delt. There's nice little cap on there because I was
Yeah.
a pansy for most of my 20s, and everything just went into my delt instead of
Yeah.
Oh,
going anywhere else. So plenty of scar tissue built up, hence the ultrasound shockwave wand
Exactly.
to break
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
up.
I had to quit shooting them. I at one point I couldn't even get oil into them,
Yeah.
It
Oh,
sound like
that's always fun when you
cement.
put it in and you're
You hear
pressing
it
and pressing.
crackle.
You're
Yeah,
like, what
yeah,
the
your
hell am I doing?
thumb is breaking and shit. I was pressing so hard once that the needle actually popped out of the syringe. You spray oil everywhere. It's like, oh, sweet. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you that Kinalog, injecting Kinalog in there,
Hmm.
freaking
Yeah, we
just
talked about that.
yeah, it
Hmm.
destroys keloids. So
Oh, okay.
so if you inject the Kinalog in there and then you do that therapy, then it can reduce it.
Awesome.
So because that's what we would use in orthopedics to reduce scar tissue whenever athletes would have scar tissue buildup post like knee or shoulder surgery. But
Well, thank you for that.
yeah, 10 milligrams.
Okay. Maybe maybe my left delt will stop looking so screwed up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Uh,
We're getting back into the meathead realm. I did have a more of a meathead question.
Yeah,
yeah,
I got a meathead question too after you.
yeah. How about it?
This actually came from one of Tommy's clients, so I'm not
Oh
sure what he was
God.
asking me. But what's all of you guys' take on logbook training?
That's why he was asking you.
He
I
didn't
think
want to
it's
get yelled at by his coach.
yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I don't think it's make or break. I've logbooked, I've not logbooked, I still made progress. Um, you have to be honest with yourself on if you're actually progressing or not. And if that requires writing down numbers in a book and you beating those numbers each week, that's fine. If you're doing silly things to beat numbers and you're not being honest about the technique, the form, the intention of muscle, things like that, then you're just bullshitting yourself. So, all of a sudden you did 6 plates on the hack squat, and then you did 6 1/4, but you didn't tell anyone that you took 2 minutes longer on the rest break and you tightened the belt 3 more notches, right? So there's so much variable. I can beat any number that I write down in my logbook, but what did I have to do to beat that? And I truthfully don't believe that people are being honest about the variable of the technique that went into it, the cadence, how much caffeine did you take on one day versus the other. You knew you had to beat that 6 plate hack squat, so you took an extra halo and like shit like that. It's like I just think there's a lot of variable there that you can cheat that logbook and trick yourself into thinking you got better. And it's like at one point I know week to week if I'm getting better or not. I know if
Hmm.
the numbers are coming down. I can remember what I did last week, right? And I do the same workouts pretty much every week at this point. I'm using similar machines, and I don't need to write it down anymore. It's distracting for me. It just takes more time. I'd rather just focus on being present in the moment, training, and not worrying about the other shit. But that's just what I've come to over years. In the beginning, I very much logbooked, like we all did.
Is it bad that I've been lifting for 13 years now? I have never once had like a notebook where I wrote down my logbook numbers.
And I think you've built some muscle, you know?
I would say so.
Right.
I
So,
mean, like, even
A
playing
little
like
bit.
devil's advocate with the need to just progress every week, I am doing less weight than I did 2 years ago.
sure.
But the way that I'm moving it, the way that I'm connecting with it, doing different techniques like blood flow restriction or different negatives or different elbow positions,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would argue I am stronger now and building more muscle than when I was just trying to just, okay, 4 plates on each side of the hack this week, gotta get 5 this week,
Yeah.
or otherwise I'm a failure.
Yeah.
And then I'd just be muscle fucking it and twisting all around or bouncing in the hole.
I,
So
I
I think,
think go
uh,
I was just gonna say I think it's more important in strength sports. I did concurrent or conjugate style of training, so I would log all my max effort lifts because I rotated them. So when I would come back, I would rotate the max effort lifts, like I had like 6 different lifts per upper body, lower body, and I would rotate them. So I wanted to know that when I came back that I was stronger at that lift before I would progress again, right? So I had to write those down just because I haven't done this lift in 6 weeks. I don't know if it progressed or not, but now I know what I did 6 weeks ago. But that was specific to conjugate or concurrent style of training. If you're using a plan like 531 or something, you're going to need to logbook it because that plan is based off blocks and percentages, and you're going to need to remember what you did. For bodybuilding, I don't think it's the same concept, and that's just my strong opinion. I do think you need to get stronger in bodybuilding. I still think that. The guys that say strength doesn't matter at all, I think that's kind of a cop out. I do think you need to progress in bodybuilding rep ranges, and I mean things like side raises and curls, maybe not as much, but like if your hack squat just never ever goes up, I would question your intensity. But if you're pressing even on a machine, it never goes up. I would truthfully question how much effort you're putting in. Something like a dumbbell curl or a side raise, yeah, those are going to take much longer to progress. And you can probably curl 20s for 15 years and still build pretty good arms. But
Yeah.
something like legs and those bigger compound style of movements, I do think there needs to be progression there.
Yeah. I think in the sport, it matters powerlifting, strength and conditioning, things like that, where you need to keep track of times, dynamic days, speed
Yeah,
days, things like that.
yeah,
Where you're in block training blocks. But I look at it more now, and this is the way my perspective is with clients, is more of an accountability diary rather than a logbook. Like I want to know what I like how I felt going into the gym today. How did I feel after that lift? How did I feel before my pre-workout meal? How did I feel after my pre-workout meal? I want to know these things. Like I'd rather see day to day how I am adapting to stress. And then and then just put down on the bottom good training day, bad training day, and then put like two highlights or three highlights from the training. I would rather know that, and that's more progressive for me, just knowing that I use this technique. I got, you like five more reps at the same weight, felt good. And then the next day, morning, hey, recovery's good. I'm not sore. And then just go about it that way. I think in the long term, that's going to be give you more perspective, especially if you have ever done journaling, which I have. You look back and you're like, man, I was so messed up during this period of my life. Like, what was
yeah.
I doing? Just like journaling my days. But I think that could also be an option. So they're not so technical because bodybuilding isn't always technical.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. Yeah. I just worry about, people doing whatever it takes to beat the number in the logbook. And I promise you, I will beat that number from last week. What I have to do it might not be beneficial. So that's problems that I've ran into in the past. And a lot of times that's going to lead to injury. And if you get hurt, you're not going to get very big.
Yeah. I would love for there to be like a modern day Milos who like writes down every single like insulin dose and everything,
Yeah.
just have it
Yeah,
in the cloud. I would love for someone to do that. I feel like Justin Shire would be someone that would do that.
for sure. The last thing I'll add about logbooking is people think the only way to beat the logbook is by either reps or weight. And it's like, that's not necessarily true because if a set was just higher quality and you felt it more on the intended muscle, that's progression. And you could have used the same exact weight, same exact reps, and it just felt more effective because you were just more dialed into the muscle. You felt the muscle greater that you were trying to work. That's progression. And in a logbook, it looks like you plateaued. But in your mind, you're like, man, but that pump that I had was just better. I just felt more connected to the chest, for example, right? So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. You got anything, Mike?
I did the log booking back in powerlifting and strongman days. Uh, and then, one of my favorite programs was actually the one that was done by John Meadows with Dave Tate.
Yeah, the
Uh,
utility or unity.
yeah,
That's what it's called.
Unity.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. I love that one. That one worked great for me during strongman. I just threw in like events day in there
Yep.
to actually practice with the log press or the Atlas stones and things like that,
Yeah.
because that allowed me to grow and continue growing while also getting stronger.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I found now that I've gotten older and like in my 40s, like I need to listen to my body, and I can't chase numbers. That's just going to lead to injuries and things like that. And, like my shoulder's been clicking lately, things like that. So, okay, I need to change up my training a little bit around that. So,
You need to get all that
the,
scar tissue out of there.
yeah, man, that's it. I actually had a gentleman come up to me at the gym though, and I was doing rotator prehab work,
Yeah.
before benching, and he told me I wasn't rotating my arm far enough back
Mm,
on it. And I kid you not, he walked up to me, grabbed
no.
my wrist, and popped my arm. And I felt a pop in my shoulder. I was like, I don't even know who this guy was. He just
Yeah.
literally came up and grabbed my arm and then told me why he just probably tore my rotator cuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It only goes this far, buddy. I promise.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly. Like,
this is
thanks,
it.
random stranger, for I never tore my rotator cuff in powerlifting or strongman, but
Yeah.
some dude at the gym, thanks, buddy. Don't
Jeez.
touch me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
so it's more listening to my body these days on that side of things. And, I'm still trying to get better at training like a bodybuilder.
yeah.
Phil Viz was helping me out a lot on that. So was Skip Hill,
Yeah.
because going from strongman to, training like a bodybuilder, it's a lot different. Like you want to feel the muscle. You're not just trying to move a weight from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Do you know Danny Lamartina?
Know the name, but don't really know him. Yeah.
So it's a female.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
She's helped me a ton when it came from that shift of going from strength sports to bodybuilding, because she's done it and she's done it for
Yep.
hundreds of people now. Did it for her husband. So like she was one person, and Skip and everyone else of course too, but she's a person I still work with, and she's constantly tweaking things to make it more geared towards my current goals.
Yeah.
So that was a huge thing and you can see it in the physique. When a person comes from strength sports, you can see that they might lack a little bit like in the limbs, and probably the chest, but they have big, thick, dense backs and the big triceps, right? And then the bodybuilding muscles are just a little smaller right now, like biceps and shit like that. But the foundation is there very well. So yeah, I think it does build a good foundation.
Yeah, I'm just probably a moron though, because I tried to compete in men's physique. That's chest and abs,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
never trained chest ever as a strongman because there's no
Right.
point in it.
Nope.
And I've had 4 ab surgeries or GI surgeries that have cut into my abs, so I have a ridiculously small abdominal wall
Right.
now as a result of all of those. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
talk about trying to run uphill on this one.
You
Yeah.
just got to go get some etching done now
Yeah,
around
there
here.
you
Yeah, I know,
go. Yeah.
right?
The question I had was, how do you know when it's time to start prep again for another show? Joey, you want to go first?
Sure. So, number one, you need to make sure you're at a point where you're eating a decent amount of food to start with. You don't want to be starting prep when you're on 1,800 calories as a man, because that's just going to lead to a world of suffering. So, that's one kind of like objective physical thing that you can say, like, okay, am I eating a decent amount of food here?
Hmm.
Also, you want to make sure that you're pretty mentally fresh. So you don't want to be just coming straight off of a heavy bulk where you were stressed and you were had a million and one things going on. You want to make sure where your body's kind of like, I'm happy with the amount of food I'm eating right now. I've been chilling for a little bit. I'm not pushing food up. I haven't been dieting super hard. It's where you really mentally fresh to push into the diet. That's another very big thing because you don't want to be burning out after 4 weeks of starting a prep and then think you have to push through for another 12 just because oh, I said I'm in prep, so I have to finish it now. That would
Mhm.
be kind of ridiculous. Uh, I think it can be good for a lot of amateurs like us to do a show local to you. So it will matter what time of year it is. If you say there's one show in your area, it happens one time a year, that's anywhere close to you, and it just happened last weekend, you're all excited, oh, I want to start prep, I want to get shredded like them. You're going to be prepping for 12 months, or
Right.
are you going to be traveling somewhere, because that's extra stress. So maybe at that 12-month out mark, after you just got all inspired by seeing them on stage, kind of like, okay, I have 12 months to get ready. Sometimes I'm going to be pushing food up for a while and
Yeah.
holding it, probably have a diet and another push up back in that time frame. So it shouldn't just be oh, I'm ready, I'm doing it now.
Yep.
There should be advanced planning about your year and the long term plan to get it done. And make sure you're both mentally and physically fresh to get started. Where you're not doing an hour and a half of cardio, or you're not eating a tiny amount of food.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you have plenty of levers still to be pulling.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
those are great points. I think one way is to kind of let the body tell you that it's time to start a prep, meaning you've just been pushing food for so long and you're mentally kind of like, man, I'm just ready for a change. Sometimes you just need a change and you just want to shift gears, right? Um, so I think that's important. And I think this should be obvious, but getting blood work done before you start a prep,
Yep.
um, I think you should be healthy before you start a contest prep because chances are your health isn't going to get better in a contest prep. It might the first 10 weeks, to be fair, because body weight's coming down and digestion's getting better, insulin sensitivity's getting better. So the first 10 weeks you might be getting healthier, but then when other things start to amplify, stress is going up, I don't think you're getting much healthier. So I think that's important, but really I just hate to see guys stop a great growing phase early because they get the itch to compete. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, man, ride that wave, stay in it, let that growth happen because growth doesn't happen all the time. So if you're growing really well right now, you better ride that shit out until it's done because I mean, it's not going to happen every single rebound. And the rebound is a real thing, and I think it's a great time to put on muscle. Um, but it's just you're not going to get the most dramatic effect every single time. So if you're growing now, don't stand in front of a moving train. Keep that thing rolling. The gym performance is great, digestion's good, your health markers are good. Keep that rolling. Do not stand in front of that train to start a contest prep just because you want to be shredded again. Um, I think you need to ride that phase out and really milk it.
Yeah.
Only thing I would add is because you hit on the health phase, that's obviously very important because look, your liver helps you lose fat. If that's not in a great spot, you're going to have a real tough time.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like it's like Phil Viz says. He's like, no guys care about their liver until I tell them it's a fat burning organ, and no guys
Yep.
care about their kidneys until I tell them they're not going to be dry on stage.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I totally
Yep.
agree.
Just make sure your finances are set too,
Yep.
Yeah,
before you get into it, because what's the number one stress in a relationship and things like that? It's finances.
yeah,
And so make sure that you have saved up because, coaching isn't cheap, for a good coach. Then you have to, pay all your food. Then entrance fees are not getting any cheaper these days.
no,
So, especially if you're doing multiple classes, you're looking at several $100 per
hmm
show right there. Then
And it,
tack on any of your supplements, gear, other stuff, and it adds up. So you want to make sure that that's not a stress that you have to deal with,
yep,
and you have that in a good spot, before going into it.
yeah, and
and you mentioned in there as well, sorry, Tommy,
no, go yet. We're gonna say
uh,
the same thing. I bet. Go ahead.
make sure your relationship in general is in a good spot. I mean,
Yes.
like finances are a big stress on it, but if you
Yeah.
just started dating someone and you really like them and it's been a month, starting a prep's going to put a big strain on that, because no matter how nice you think you are, there's going to be times in prep where maybe you're not an outright asshole, but you're going to be short with them.
Yeah.
You're going to be distant. You're going to be like, no, I can't go and have this date because I have to do cardio and
Your
follow a meal
schedule
plan.
is not flexible.
Yes. Yeah. So
So make
that's
sure you're either
huge.
happily single and plan to stay that way for the duration of the prep,
Yeah.
or are in a solid spot with a relationship where you've been dating for a while. You disclose clearly to them, like, hey, I'm starting a diet. It's not an excuse to be an asshole, but if you notice that I'm being short with you or I'm having more of a temper, please tell me, because it may just be that I'm dieting and I'm hungry. Maybe it's a compound that I'm taking that I don't realize is making me more aggressive.
Mhm.
But as an outsider, you do see that. So you can
Yeah.
have a clear line of communication of with your partner what that's going to entail, whether they don't have a right to say you're not allowed to prep, but
No.
you need to be on the same, either tell them like, hey, I'm starting a prep, I'm giving you these warnings. Either you stay or you go. I'm not
Yeah.
going to keep you here.
Yeah.
So just
Yep.
make sure you're really clear about what's going to be happening.
Yeah, the relationships are huge. And then the other thing is your career. So if you have work trips planned like every other week in prep, or you have a vacation planned even the week after prep, which I really, really don't recommend.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, it's probably the worst time to go on a vacation is right after you finish a contest or even the weeks that follow because your body's so incredibly sensitive and the water's trying to rebalance. And then you go to whatever and you go slam a bunch of food on the beach and all of a sudden you come back 30 pounds of edema, and um, so I think knowing the timeline of when the show is, making sure the career is good, there's no unexpected like work traveling, or you're not going to lose your job or change jobs and all that shit. Just trying to keep everything in line, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Or if you know, like, I mean, as an accountant, I know maybe I shouldn't be doing a show in March during tax season
Right.
because it's going to be harder to focus on things.
Yep.
So make sure it's at a time in your schedule where you're able to dedicate more free time, more mental space, and just more of your energy towards prep than maybe you don't need to be allocating towards a big project at work or a big vacation coming up or a family member just passed away and you need to organize their estate.
Right.
You need to make
Right.
sure you have availability in your schedule and in your brain for a whole prep. Because I mean, it's not a 24/7 thing, but it's also a pretty set schedule of, okay, I can take care of stuff during these hours. And once these hours fill up, I can't stay up an extra 4 hours because I'm going to sleep like crap. The next day's training is going to be crap.
Yep.
And the fat burn is going to be impacted from that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you bring up a good point there. I can't think of really anything else like other sport, and we'll call bodybuilding a sport. That is 24 hours. Football, you can train and you go like you have the rest of your day. Like bodybuilding, man, you're stuck in that 24 hours, day after day, weeks
Mm-hmm.
after weeks
Yep.
for that prep. And even in the off season, it's 24/7. Your
Yeah.
your prep and your off season are both the same diligence. And
And the posing practice.
yeah, that's the other thing I was bring up. Like if
Yeah.
your previous show was your posing needs to be improved, but your health, like let's say your health is okay and you have a next show that you can go and do. Cool. Go ahead and prep for that next show. That's a week or 2 weeks away. Do it. Get some more stage presence. But if your health is deteriorating and you need to improve it, go on a health phase, or just bump up some of your supplements for health. I would at that time improve on posing by through like a posing coach. Use that time smart and just
Yeah.
act like you are going on stage because if you can just improve that, I mean, now you can make your body look totally, totally different and you're going to need it as that's, I would start it right away
Yeah.
because you're lean. And so you can get into poses better. And then I would get into the off season when you're bigger. And then now it's harder to get in poses, but then continue after that because now your body just changed. So now everything changed, your protocols and everything. So now your posing might need to be tweaked, but you've been working with that posing coach for now probably a year,
Yeah.
and now they know how to transition your body that you've added that mass. I think that's a huge thing because I don't know about you guys, but like whenever I see someone doing something like wrong or like almost it's like embarrassing a bit, like when they do their back pose, they lean all the way forward and then they
Yeah.
like I'm just like I kind of cringe and I get this anxiety and I'm like, like
It's
don't
like,
do
did
that.
none of your friends tell you how fucked up that looks? Like,
Yeah.
all these guys have just been watching you pose for weeks and weeks, and no one told you how wrong that is. Like, damn, like, shame on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that feeling. I'm just getting like this, like I don't want to watch it or anything. And it's
Yeah.
just like, man, I just don't like that. So I'm like, go ahead and fix that. But I think sticking with a posing coach, that long period of time is going to be a good investment if you're looking to improve. Because that's the one thing I didn't do, and I looking back, I really should have.
Right.
I'll say I
Dude.
love watching the posing coaches at the competitions because they're the ones that are getting the most amped up when someone's
Yeah.
on stage. They're
Yeah.
screaming, twist,
Yeah.
twist,
Yeah.
no, move the
Yeah.
arm up, come on.
It's so
I love it
true.
when at Dallas Pro Tuttle last year, he was yelling at Jordan, and he's just like giving him all these cues. Man, he is so animated. Man, he's freaking funny. You can hear him.
That's
I was like sitting in the
hilarious.
back, and he's all the way up in VIP, and you can just hear him just yelling him.
I'll say I didn't realize how big grass-fed was. He's a posing coach, and
Yeah.
uh, I had worked with him, so I'd seen him on like these Zoom calls, and then I saw him at a competition. I was like, that dude's a lot bigger than I was expecting.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's hilarious because I didn't know he was a big dude.
Yeah, he's decent size.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just funny seeing some of these coaches in person when you're like, oh, like Andrew Barry. Holy cow! When you
Yeah.
like,
He's a big dude.
you see him. It's different when you see him on the screen here, and then you see him in person. You're like, oh Jesus, this is like,
Yep.
he's enormous. He's tall and big, which
Versus
Yeah.
you
is
see someone
tough.
like Justin Wise, and I'm like, I have to like look down at him.
Or you see Derek in person.
Oh
And
yeah,
you're
Yeah.
like,
that's yeah.
what you doing down there, little
No
nugget?
shit, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, being over at MI40, seeing all those guys and such, and around here, I'm like, man, Ken is freaking huge. But man, I'm trying to think. Like Andrew Jackson in real life, he is so nutty. Like,
Oh,
it's
dude,
just
it's wild. He looks like a comic book character.
Yeah.
yeah. Like
It's the most insane.
something's off about his body. It's
Yeah.
so disproportional, but yet
Yes.
proportional. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it seems like an action figure, like the old school action figures, like GI Joes, where they had like where you can bend their arms.
Yeah.
Like things
Yeah.
just don't
Yeah.
connect right.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I don't know how you.
Even Joe Palacios. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
him, I think at the Arnold and the Olympia last year. The dude looks like he's wearing football pads. Like he's so incredibly wide. I've never seen a human this wide in my entire life. And it almost looks fake. It looks comical. And same with his arms. His arms are just ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, I saw him after the Dallas show, and I was talking to him in Destination, and even like stage ready, he's still big.
Oh yeah.
I saw Nick whenever, so I was around Nick whenever he was training with Dom in the
Yep.
off season, whenever he was huge. And dude, his arms were just crazy big, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other person I think that blew my mind, like outstanding physique is Natalia.
Yeah.
Dude, amazing physique.
Yeah, it's
I was like, dude,
crazy.
you're freaking jacked.
The legs are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still feminine. Like I was
Yeah.
up close talking to her, and usually you can tell like the beards and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, you're
The
freaking,
beards.
you're still feminine. Yeah.
The beards give it away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
Those top wellness pros, man, their legs are freaking impressive. Like at my heaviest when I was 260,
Yes.
my legs still weren't as big as some of theirs.
That's our
I'm like,
new advice to teenagers is go see some of these fucking pros in real life. And you tell me that you are the same as them.
Well, I mean, even
Just
the bikini competitors now, like I was showing
yeah.
my wife how, because she's familiar, her friends in IFBB bikini, but that was like back when it started. And I'm like, no, they're totally different now. Like they have cap
Yeah.
belts. And I'm
Yeah.
like, the whatever that just came out, the fit model is
Model,
like
Model.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, these bikini girls, because there's a girl in our gym, and my wife is like, is she physique? And I'm like, no, she's bikini. I'm like,
Yeah.
and she's
Yeah.
like, no, she can't. I'm like, yeah, that's what they look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, look at Jordan Brandon, who won the Tampa Pro this weekend. I
yeah.
mean, she has big legs, she has cap delts. Like,
Yep.
she's impressive when you see her in person. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm handing out these awards, and I'm like, jeez, I need to squat more.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You want to leave it there?
Yeah.
We still have more questions. I'll just leave it for the next time.
Yeah. That's cool with me.
Works for me.
Yeah, because I need to get some food in me. I'm quite hungry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, no, I'm like looking at the clock. It's like, holy crap. Like,
See, that's the benefit of it. That's what we were talking about.
all right. For all those who are still watching, thank you. And we'll be back on next week or just some other random time. You'll figure it out.
Yep.